Welcome to Bogside Chats. We're talking everything DFK, but keeping it casual. Guy, how we doing tonight?
I can't take you serious.
What do you mean?
That bloater punch is awesome.
No, it's you called it a bloater punch, but I did punch it actually the second I got it. So I'm pumped that I got it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be joining us. Doesn't have a name yet, but he's gonna be on all screen, or at the top of his head at least.
Yeah.
No, but how you doing? We
Good.
got Neindorf here as well. He's going to be back in just a minute, so we're going to get kicking off. We got a lot to talk about tonight. There was a big AMA today, and of course, the reason that we're here: Fight Club finals, Baby Cup, Whale Wars. We're going to get it on. All right, I asked you a question and then kept talking. So
yeah, that's fine. I'll just let you run with it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Excited for Fight Club. Excited for a big AMA today. I mean, our minds are obviously spinning because Workhorse just jumped into the AMA today and just dropped so much alpha.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, well, it's Fight Club final, so we need to cover Fight Club. But how do we not at least address and talk through some of the things that were mentioned in the AMA today, too?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. We're going to touch upon it. We're going to talk about it a little bit more extended towards the end of the episode, but then we're going to be going back live, maybe not tomorrow night, but later this week. Maddie's not here with us tonight, and he would not be happy if we talked about all that stuff without him anyway. So kind of works out well. But I guess just to start, what was your, if you had to say like biggest takeaway, and I'm putting you on the spot, I know, but from the AMA today, what would you like the most? What was the most, I don't know, anything?
The ability tree of the Berserker looks awesome. And I know we just saw one, well, I guess skill tree, right?
Mm-hmm.
We just saw a skill tree for one hero, and I'm already thinking of all the different combinations that would work well with Berserker. So I can't wait to kind of peel back this rat's nest that is the skill tree with all of these crazy combinations we can build.
Yeah, the 3 different branches for Berserker alone. There are so many combos and so many different ways that I could see myself kind of building it up. He did mention that you would get a discount on the 10 plus skill points if you kind of chose the same path to get there.
Right.
So that makes me think, and I like that there's kind of that difference, and it's going to incentivize you to kind of stay on the same path rather than mix and match.
Right.
Hey, Neindorf, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're just touching upon the AMA today. Did you have a chance to listen?
No, not yet, but I tell you what, I'm quick to throw in the stat genes here. We want to see what these abilities are. Let's get these names out there.
Yes. So you're adding those to the site now, the names?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think I got it close. Just got to check a few more pages out, and then maybe I'll do a push, and you guys can update while we're live here.
Oh, awesome! That's so good. Yeah, I was going through and just for like my most PvP ready heroes, kind of seeing what I landed on. There were a few that I liked. Some Hardened Shield, is that Advanced 4? I got that on a Paladin.
Nice.
A legendary Paladin, so I'm excited about that one.
I was showing you guys the line from the test on the site where I put up my Dread, and he happened to have Giant Slayer, and I was like, oh, that is absolutely perfect.
Yeah, as if a Dread isn't a Giant Slayer enough on its own.
Well, I was like, yeah, his sword totally has a name now. It's called Giant Slayer.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's interesting. There's some that like, kind of you can guess at, like heal, obviously, speed. Daze kind of maybe gives them like a confused, not a stun, so to speak, because that's on there too, I think. Yeah, Elite 1 stun, but it's going to be interesting kind of guessing at these over the next few weeks.
Well, critical aim, like archers, I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's interesting because they did mention that with the stats themselves, that they're going to be holding pretty true to what the docs had said previously. They said the biggest change was that accuracy is going to be, or excuse me, dexterity is going to be more of an accuracy stat now. Which they've alluded to a little bit, but I guess it's official. And now seeing something like critical aim, now I'm thinking like, all right, how often are you going to be missing if you don't have that dexterity? And even for a melee type, fighter, how important will that be?
Sure.
So I don't know. It's interesting. All right. So I guess should we kind of hop right into the Fight Club stuff before we get on too
I
much
know
of a
people are
tangent with this?
excited to jump into Fight Club. I
Let's
am,
do it.
so let's do it.
So I believe our fighters are ready. I'm not sure, but before we kind of go into it, so you have that up there. I'm actually going to grab the screen real quick
Yep.
and go to, or I guess you could do it. Just go to the raffle tracking tab there.
Yep.
So I implore anybody to go and check me on this, but just to be on the safe side. But essentially, this is the layout of tickets. You get one for entering, one for each round that you progress. The top two, the people in the finals for each tournament, they are taken out. So that's going to be a little bit better odds for everybody else because they obviously got the most tickets from winning the most rounds. So Baby Cup's up here. If you scroll down, Whale Wars is there, but they are all going into the same pot. So yeah, it's going to be one big raffle.
That should be fun. And what do we have for
Awesome price.
prizes? We've got what, 6 Gen 1s that will be given away, a couple other heroes and an egg pack.
Yes. So if you want to go to, if people want to see it, they can go to announcements on the Discord. We have a Gen Zero given away by Crypto Grady. Yeah, baby. One by Sir Worm. One by Bob Nothing, who is in the finals now in the Baby Cup. One by Rock 808. One by the ADFK crew. One by us at Bogside Chats. So that's, a total of 6 of those. A set of eggs from Sergeant Filthy McNasty. Go check out his channel as well, Candor Gander. And then hero being given away by Arcanum in the Fight Club Discord, and one given away by Delay. And I took a peek. These are not just throwaway heroes that they're giving you. The one given away by Arcanum is a perfect Dragoon for Fight Club. It's an Earth Element. It's, I think, Warrior sub. Is that?
Wizard sub.
Wizard subs, that's great. Earth Element, it's solid. And the hero Delay gave away in true Delay fashion has a green beard. So it's got the aesthetics, the cosmetics going for it.
So if you win this hero, do you level it up or not? I don't know.
That's the tough thing, right? I mean, it's still a drag. I struggle with Dragoons. Like, not leveling up an Archer, they're a dime a dozen. But, like, you get a
Sure.
Dragoon. Oh, it's got some
Oh,
levels
that's
on there already,
awesome.
too.
Yeah, and I think she said she's going to be providing crystals for the level up too. Don't quote me
Ooh.
on that.
Oh, wow. I hope it's true. Otherwise, you just kind of put her out there.
If not, I'll meet her halfway. I'll throw them in.
Yeah. Cool. So I'm going to take the screen quick, and I'm going to put these into the wheel. We're going to have it set up and just kind of pull names out as we go here. It's my screen, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to go over to the side here, put this one in first. And then we're going to go back and put the Whale Wars in.
So many names.
Okay. That's definitely the most we've ever had. So yeah, we will do the first one after the first match. Fex is definitely in the chat, and he is playing Bob, who I saw earlier. So guys, if you're ready, why don't you hop right in there, and we'll get going. Yeah, it looks like it didn't start yet. But yeah, so I did also shot the link out to all of the people competing tonight, so we might get some post-game interviews from either a winner or a hopefully not too salty loser.
Everybody loves a good after-action interview off the field. I mean, it always goes smoothly, right?
Yeah, I want to hear someone say that they're going to Disney World like after the Super Bowl, you know? Probably should have told them to get started before we were.
Yeah, it looks like Ted's sending now. He's pretty quick.
Good.
Do you want me to share screen back on my side?
Oh, okay. Yeah, here you go. But yeah, so I guess looking back at the bracket, so we do have in this first matchup, Baby Cup. Since our last stream, a lot more has developed. We had Pouring went on quite a run yesterday, took down 3 straight, but wasn't enough for Bob, or took down 4 straight? 3 straight. Wasn't enough for Bob in the semifinals. Bob employs that double archer or double aimed shot stack. Is he rolling that again?
He is. Yep.
Okay.
So
And
on
what do we
Bob's
got?
side, we've got the warrior, bigger health on the front line with that archer sub. Then you got the archer in the middle, so that double aim shot threat, bringing up the dragoon in the back as well. And then on Tad's side, we've got the archer up front with a pirate in the middle. So you've got cannon barrage threat, and then pirate back
And
line
plunder
too.
threat.
Yep, plunder as well.
Okay, so aim
We've
shots
already got a cat
all
fight
around.
going.
Oh, all right. Tolls for thieves here. He has the meme lord himself.
All right.
Oof.
So sneaking in a
Fireball.
fireball right off the bat from Tad.
I'll tell you what, that fireball ate me alive.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, the ticks really add up too. Like
Oh,
20
yeah.
damage is no joke for a level 1.
Yeah, and it's 2 turns of it, so it turns out being 80 damage over the course of those 3 turns.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely better than getting all that damage at once, but it's almost kind of worse in a weird way because yeah, as that hero's getting low health, it's like, well, I know it's dead at the end of this turn, you know?
Right. It forces you to want to act on that
Mhm.
hero and use their skills, but then you become predictable. So I struggled with that.
Yeah, big time. I mean, it kind of forces the issue because the worst is just, you know, having it kind of burn away and not really getting any use out of it.
Oh, that kid just makes me laugh. That is a great one.
So immediately
early
swapping.
swap.
It mitigates that burn, so you don't burn if you're not sitting up front. So Bob's
Oh,
already trying to think of how can he save some health.
does it still exhaust its
It ticks down
its
one.
stats?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. See, I'm learning.
Yeah.
I got to play more, man.
Yeah. Well, you're too busy building everything around it. So
That's no worries. I just deployed that. So if you guys out there watching want to go check your heroes' abilities by name, they're out there now.
all right, stop the tournament. We're all looking through our heroes. We'll
No,
be back
hold on.
we'll be back in an hour.
It's not in the alerts quite yet. It's not in, it hasn't spread throughout the site, but at least we've got it pushed out there so that you can look at your heroes and your list of heroes will show it now too.
Awesome.
So
Oh yeah, when you list them out by wallet.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
that's
that
perfect.
makes it honestly, it's almost harder now to see when you have all these names spread across. It's harder to see which ones are advanced and elite. So I might
good
have
point.
to
Color
I might
code.
have to look at that a little bit, but
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah, Tad snuck in another fireball. So really showing a lot of threat. He's really ahead on the the health side. And it tolls for these just 100% on top
Oh,
of
that's
the game.
perfect.
Do you think he
He's the
looked
man.
up specific ones before time? I mean, that's.
Oh,
or
he's
is
got a
just typing-
Rolodex. I'm
or
sure
is
he's
just
flipping
typing
through
in
right now.
fireball.
So that bloater's pretty big. I didn't realize how big they
Oh
were.
yeah, gigantic. Size of
I
my
thought
head.
it was just like gonna be this little like handheld thing.
Yeah, and they tossed in, and I don't think I ordered it, but they tossed in a really cool bloater pin too.
Oh, sweet.
Throw that on a backpack or something, but it's very nice.
Oh, that's
what do we got
awesome.
here? Aim shots both ways.
Yeah. And then the Dragoon goes down for Bob. So Tad's definitely ahead in the health game. But
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
if Bob can get to a meter before his archer goes down, you've got a cleave threat as well as a full draw threat, which could really pivot things back to a more even health distribution.
Mhm. Yeah, and even if it ends up being a full draw and not the cleave, I mean, taking a hero down basically to 0. Should be interesting.
Did you know the Teletubbies are back, by the way?
Where'd they go?
They're on Netflix.
Oh, great.
Uh-huh.
Are they adults now?
they should have
The
aged.
college years.
That's
Bob
wrong.
getting an interrupt off. That's going to be big. He's now got a lot of threat.
Mhm.
That full draw could be a huge swing, as well as I think the cleave would take down just about both of those guys.
Time to flip the
Oof.
coin. I want to see a coin flip meme from Tolls here.
The mistake I keep making is having the skills that are on the front and mid, and you can't use them because you always get the front one used. You can't use the like. I gotta keep an eye out for that better personally.
Hey, Sanjuro in the house. How's it going? All right. Big turn coming up here. Will Tad interrupt? Which one will he interrupt? And what's
Or
Bob
will he
going for?
just keep the ability threat going on his side?
And there it
There's
is.
that aim shot.
Oh, and the full
What's a
draw.
full draw trade off?
It's a good
Oh,
trade-off.
wow.
That's
Lots
gonna
of
do it.
damage.
Mm-hmm.
And just short of that full meter. It'd be nice to have that full meter where you could have that cleave threat going too.
With
Yeah.
otters.
Would it have mattered though? Because I feel like in that situation, as long as you block the cleave, you still win. Right? I mean, the full
Well,
draw goes off. It takes the
because
back
right
hero.
now he's going to be able to block front because aim shot will kill his pirate. So he probably wants to get that blocked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now that there's not 1 meter,
Right.
nice. Now that there's not 1 meter, I think the front line's the block. But if the cleave was in play, you would have had to go for it.
Right.
Oh man, I can't even think with these. These are great.
Important moves. People taking their time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it down to the wire here, guys.
Mm-hmm. That was one thing. I was playing Mean Machine last night, and although he absolutely slaughtered me, it was very nice. He's a fast mover. We had a good pace of play going.
Nice.
Maybe I
noticed
should have
that
slowed
too.
it down because it didn't go well.
Fast clicks are fun.
Oh yeah. And the turn is in.
And no match yet, so
Oh,
double interrupt.
Okay. And one more interrupt should do it.
who's fast? Yeah, I was gonna say otherwise.
Yeah. I would think the pirates probably the dex for the pirate probably would give it the speed, but I
Right.
don't think it'll matter.
And there we have end of match. Successfully interrupted. And game 1 goes to Tad.
Gotta do it.
We were saying though, all ADFK final. Don't hate that, you know.
Yeah.
That was
Represent.
that perilous pouring almost snuck in, but not so much.
Hey,
We
I
almost had a double pouring final.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been fun for me. I might not have come on the stream. Let you guys take care of it. All right. While we're waiting for the next match to start, and guys, if you're listening, go right ahead. We'll catch up. But we'll do the first spin.
Yeah.
So the way this is working, this will be for the first choice of any of the prizes. So we are going to shuffle it up a few times here. And here we go.
Shuffle up and deal.
Love the wheel names. Big fan.
Oh,
Ben Force.
Ben Force.
Excuse me, Ben
Nice.
Force.
nice.
Probably just waking up for his day. Or no, Australia, he'll be up. He's been up for a while now. All right,
Yeah.
so we're going to remove all instances here. And we're going to write him down as number 1.
Nice. Congrats, Ben Force. And no team comp changes, which is interesting. We got the same 3 heroes on each side.
Okay.
I actually kind of like that.
They know
Yeah.
what got him here.
Yeah, a couple interrupt differences, and you got all those a lot of meter threat on Bob Nothing's team. So if he's able to get an interrupt off, it's a completely different game.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you guys think of a three hero team? it's basically pick your guys and you roll with it.
You mean as far
For
as
the
like,
Whale Wars, I attempted to change my 3 hero combination for the second match against Mean Machine, and that did not pan out well.
Mm.
So sometimes you stick to the strategies that you know.
Yeah, that's true. I could see
yeah,
that.
I don't change much. Typically the 3 I pick, it's for a reason, and they're my highest like stat guys. I don't know. I was talking to Tad earlier, and he said that Raph in the semifinals of the Baby Cup, in their 3 games, Raph had 3 different lineups.
Whoa.
He said it was, and he said it did affect him a little bit because you don't know what to expect, right? You get a read on 3 heroes, and then you expect the same thing the next game. It's like, well, I got to look these up again. What's his strategy? How's it changed? So.
Right, you led with a fireball, and now it's like there is no fireball. So you're like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. All right, I can see that.
Double interrupt in the
trade.
front.
Good old, I'm thinking what you're thinking. And
The Dragoon
level
in the
1,
back.
so they're slow to grow the meter. You're really just only going to grow the meter through interrupts and not really through your organic hero charge.
And that's why it's so hard to do skills early on in the Baby Cup, because if you do get interrupted, I'm not going to say that you lost the match. Obviously, you can come back from it, but you're putting yourself in quite the hole early.
Yeah.
I had so I just picked a couple cheap heroes up at the last minute, and because I wanted to play, and I found myself I had a knight in the front, or sorry, a warrior, and I found myself using backstab with him a lot because it was basically free damage.
Mm-hmm.
And like, if you wanted to interrupt it, go ahead.
Yep.
Again, not a big deal.
Yeah, same.
Ooh,
I rolled most of this tournament. I did an Archer Sage Archer combo, where it's pretty much just throwing out 0 meter abilities the entire match.
Yep. Yeah, it's lethal in Baby.
Was that a successful interrupt there by Bob? So he's really stacking up the meter now.
Yep. And his warrior's still got a couple turns that he can hang around, so he doesn't have to rush into that cleave.
Tolls with the nice rejected meme there.
Nope.
So it Tolls, I know we're only 2 matches in. I do not want to see any repeats of memes throughout the entire finals of both tournaments.
Yeah, I hope he's got quite the stack there. Those finals, those heavyweight matches go a little bit longer. Need more memes. He's doing 2 on 1 turn here.
Aggressive.
I'm curious if anybody's going to be picking up, or already has started picking up, like priests for that the heal ability. Oof.
Oh, there's the cleave.
Wow.
Big damage turn.
He got the hero down there. Oh, okay, that other auto attack hadn't gone. So yeah. He's got almost a full hero's worth of health and advantage here.
Yeah, you got the cannon barrage that started, but that cleave, that's 140 damage versus the 50 to cannon barrage, so it's going to put Bob in the driver's seat for the rest of this match.
But yeah, you were saying, what were you saying about a priest?
People are going to. I'm curious if the market for priests with the ability with heal are flying off the floor, because I feel like priests have kind of been meh as far as tavern heroes go. I think people are, and that's a very obvious one that you can, or maybe it's a paladin with heal too. Hard to say.
But so they are going to have their own skill tree moves though, right? So like, I looked at that right away. Like, hey, how many of I think it's basic 3 under active. Oh, I'll wait till after this turn. What was that at the beginning? I missed that.
Aim shot.
Oh, okay.
So did a good chunk of damage to that backline pirate. Now Blitz comes into play. Bob could just fierce out or play the interrupt game on his side. So it'll be interesting to see how Tad handles this.
He would have to blitz him to the front line first before he can get that pirate in.
Yep.
But yeah, definitely in control. I think we're going to game 3 here.
And so what was the deal with abilities? It's a 0 mana.
Right. So it's a
Move.
one shot, like one time use throughout the game, 0 mana. But that's so the first thing I did was go look at basic 3 for all my priests, see
Yep.
which one had them. But then I was thinking, oh, they're gonna have a ton of heals from their skill tree. It's
Right.
almost a little redundant where like I would rather it on a warrior. Like really, what hero wouldn't want to heal mid game, you know, or the option to?
Well, so I'm curious if we have a finished match.
Big turn.
Cannon barrage. And then the blitz on the other side.
Okay.
So the double
then
kill
the
for the
auto attack.
Dragoon.
Oh, yeah.
We need something like pop up when you get a double kill.
Yeah.
Nice game, Bob.
I'm
Looks
just
like we're going to
thinking
game
of
3.
I'm thinking of all the old Halo, like double kill,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
like Rampage or whatever the other ones were.
Yeah.
Killing
All the way up
spree.
to perfection.
Overkill, right?
Yeah, I think 5 was killing spree.
Yeah.
That was the furthest I ever got.
With the
Way too much.
trait abilities, though, what I was thinking though is I'm curious if like things like heal will be tied to your intelligence or in your wisdom score, or if it'll just be a set heal because that's your inert trait. Which if it's just a set heal amount, it really doesn't matter who that's attached to. Like, yeah,
Sure.
it'd match up a little better with a priest, but anyone healing for the same amount really isn't necessarily any better than any other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. And one other thing that I've been wanting to ask, but it seems the fact they haven't mentioned it yet, it seems like this wouldn't be the case. But I was curious if, in addition to these skill points, if you needed a certain set of skills to like unlock certain parts of the skill tree, right? Especially when dealing with subclasses, like can my, paladin who's an archer sub use all these arrow type moves without having a certain amount of dex? Like, yeah, he has access to them, but can he use them? But it looks like it'll only be the skill points.
Yeah,
I got to imagine the skill tree is going to be pretty intense from what they've made it seem. And I kind of go back to roots in like Path of Exile, where there was the tree was just massive, and you had to literally strategically position for one branch that you were going to take. I could see this going that route, honestly.
Well, they did say they're going to be rerolls, and they're going to be cheap, but otherwise, yeah, these are serious decisions. This is no joking around. We're not playing a game anymore. It's got to be the perfect build on every hero.
Oh yeah, I hear you. And you know what I think is interesting too, right? So they're adding classes. After this turn, we'll go back. Let's see.
Is that a
lots of damage.
cannon barrage to start? And
Cannon barrage with an aim shot trade-off.
Okay.
Nice. I think it's interesting how abilities they've stuck with the first basic 8, 4, 2, and 1. They haven't added any as other classes have been released, if anyone noticed. So there's still room for growth to release like seasons or something in the future where they'd have, new abilities could come out and give you more reroll opportunities there too. So
from a gene trait perspective, you're saying?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they have not added any new since the original.
Yeah, and that's interesting because that's not a part of the reroll. So,
right,
for them to, you'd have to be rerolling all those abilities to kind of like mix them into the skill pool, right?
Right, and I feel like they're waiting on that because I think, and it makes sense because a lot of people don't know they exist yet. I feel like the hardcore people have been, I don't know, we've been talking about abilities for about a year now, but it's like just looking at the card in the game, you don't see it. So it would kind of be too early to re-roll that when people are like, what am I re-rolling? Where is this?
Yeah. Oh, successful interrupt up front.
That's huge.
Stops the fireball. Bob
That's
in the driver's seat.
We'll see if Tad can counter with Tad's got to hop to the defensive now, right? And see if he's able to land a successful interrupt on the other side, which would pivot things back to him.
Yeah, I mean, if he goes for the big move and you miss it, it's gonna be tough. So, gotta hope he guesses right.
What were the subs on the Pirates? subclasses?
One of them is an archer. Or no, they're both wizards, actually.
Okay.
No, one's a wizard, one's an archer. The archer is a wizard subclass.
Okay. So there still is fireball in play, and
Yeah.
aim shot is always dangerous. Okay.
Right. Lots of things to think about.
Because if you interrupt the first fireball on the front line and say it's in the mid line too, you can still then it still is available for use on the second hero.
But they're both subclasses. So the mid line.
Oh, it's a sub.
Yeah.
Shoot. Okay, that's tricky.
Yeah. I don't know if he maybe switches the archer out here. I mean, the archer still has decent health.
Yeah, he's over 50% health. So it's a matter of what you want for a threat late game. Do you want that full draw? Because both of the pirates don't have like a full 1 meter move to off the threat later in the game.
Yeah, that's kind of the downside of the pirate, right? They're great for baby cup because everything's cheap, but then when you have that meter and you need that big hit, there's nothing there.
Right.
Oh, successful interrupt. It
was just the aim shot, which is interesting. So Bob still has his full meter in play, he can still offer a cleave and a full draw threat here. But now full draw is in play for Tad too.
I don't know. I think I might.
Yes.
The memes.
Generation 1.
Maybe you sneak a plunder in here and think Bob's probably gonna try to interrupt the full draw up front because that's your only big threat.
I mean, if you roll some speed steal, right, that could also be huge late turns.
Mm-hmm.
And the archer does have 72 health left, so even if you exchanged abilities and did a cleave for a full draw, the archer would still be able to survive, even if the warrior has speed.
Okay.
And he'd go first too if it was an ability. Interesting.
Was that a Gen 1 modder that we just heard there, guy?
It was. And I was seeing if Mom was in the room or if I needed to go hit the abort button real quick.
Okay.
Don't mind me.
Oh yeah.
Let's just keep the turning moving. Kid'll be okay.
We're finally out of the monitor stage, and boy, it feels good.
Yeah, I probably got another year or so.
Oh, we just got rid of him. No.
All right, so what do we got here? Interrupt, fireball. Nobody using their big moves.
See, I like that fireball because you still get a chance to attack for damage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, it finished the hero off, but not getting that burn effect stings a little bit. You'd rather do some full health, But
True.
Yeah, you're right. It gets that hero out of the way, and the attack goes to the next one.
Plus, yeah, quarter health on that archer's gone.
Mm-hmm. Toes actually messaged me and said, like, make sure you ping me when the finals are here. Like, I need to be in there. So he was ready for this with the memes. 20 seconds left. Bob's move is in. Tad is in. And here we go. Oh, full draw gets off. And the full draw gets off.
Oh, this is going to be an interesting finish.
Yeah, I mean, you got that Dragoon in the middle, and you got to figure that bar, that there's more health to it,
Right.
Yeah.
And that was actually Samish left some feedback. One of the things that he said that I definitely agreed with was making the bar 50 health increments and just having like a ton of them for a high health hero. A little bit easier visually to kind of see what's left.
Yeah.
Because right now, like, playing the game a lot, you can kind of tell based on class and things like that. But for newer players, it's definitely a disadvantage.
Right, you have to keep an eye on it, and you have to calibrate it, basically, is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Toll's a meme legend.
You got Grady online. There we go.
Mm-hmm. Grady, hop. I'll send Grady a link. Get him on here too, if he's available.
No one's gonna hype it like Grady.
Exactly.
Successful interrupt from Bob on that cannon barrage. Definitely saved some health for his archer. He's slightly behind for health, but now he's got that full meter. So full draw kind of comes back into play, although a name shot would do it too.
I was gonna say, how would you spend that meter?
Yeah, what's the archer sub? I think is the archer sub warrior?
I really need to build a dashboard
I think
for
it
this
is.
game.
Ooh, a dashboard. What do you mean?
So
exactly. I'm intrigued.
Yes.
What do you mean?
So if we could get some live access to what's going on here in these matches, you could pull it up, say, and basically get a statistical display of, you know, health left, skills on cooldown, skills that are available, basically the stuff that you guys know and just innately understand because you've played a lot could be kind of visible on screen.
Okay.
Something I've considered, but
like on the Discord, or would this be like a page on the site?
You know me. I put it on the site.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna take over. It looks like that Gen 1 guy had to go take care of it. So.
Oh yeah, it happens.
Let me pull this up here. Nope. Oh.
Wow.
That's not great. Discord. Here we go. Yep, we went to light mode, so if anyone is going to complain about that, I don't want to hear it.
Shades here real quick.
Yeah, I got enough shit about it last stream. All right, here we go. Wait, I didn't pop that quick enough, but that was a big move here.
That was a huge move.
Cannon barrage. And that might do it.
I think it does.
Because even with the skewer, which is the 1 meter move for the Dragoon.
Yep.
That only takes away 50% of the health, so it's actually less effective here towards the late game.
Late game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
All right, and now everyone's talking about it in the chat. The light mode. And we have a new Baby Cup champion with the Cannon Barrage to finish him off.
Well
Tad
done.
effects, whatever you know him as, you're going to be seeing his name in yellow on the Fight Klub Discord.
I love it.
Awesome. Congrats to him. Congrats to Bob, who is so close. I thought this was Bob's time to shine, because he's been doing the tournament since the very beginning, and he's been getting closer and closer.
Oh yeah, progressively better for sure.
Tad's hyped up. I love it. That's awesome. Yeah, Tad. When Tad joined, he like played another game, and then before you knew it, you were seeing his name in the battle log nonstop. He was hooked. So that's great. Congrats to him. Let's while we wait. So pouring, I think, was bopping around there, but I'm gonna send a quick message to him and Mean Machine. Mean Machine was here too.
Oh yeah, they're around.
Yeah. All right, and in the meantime, I'm gonna pull up and we'll do another spin of the wheel.
Perfect.
All right, shuffling it up. This is for the second pick of the raffle prizes. Here we go. Zealous.
Nice.
Zealous of DFK Helper, and shout out to him and to DFK Helper. I started using them recently. It is super easy, super easy to get set up, easy to use, and it's definitely has a lot of feature functionality. One thing they do that I love, it auto LPs on my items. So I
Oh,
hit a
that's
certain
cool.
threshold I sent, and it'll sell half, and just stick them right there into the liquidity. So
Oh, that's sweet.
yeah, love it. That was
Great tool.
the feature that hooked me in, where I was like, okay, I got to get over here and do this.
I keep meaning that's another thing on my to-do list is to put a non-gardens LP page. 'Cause it's like it could give you a predicted ROI based on current supply. Because right now it's like impossible unless you manually track what your entry point was. Like it's just a mess. So that's another thing. My list is long. I'll get to it one of these years.
Yeah. Yeah. So I started tracking at the beginning, right when it was Grady and Raph that were talking about early on,
Oh yeah.
with eggs and stuff, and I was like, all right, I got to get on this, and so I was manually tracking it.
Hmm.
That lasted about a week, and then I realized like the things I was tracking had a value of like 3/5 of a cent, like not any like there's no value to them. I was like, I think I'll just kind of send them in and hope for the best here.
Oh yeah. I got a pretty fair share of the crystal gold pool in Crystal Vale. Um, Honestly, I kind of been accumulating that. Well, I guess I accumulated that a long time ago. Uh, in the thought that once we bought the land that there's going to be gold for buildings or
Hmm.
something. So I'm
Yeah.
sitting on a pretty good pile of gold, but at the cost of a lot of jewel that converted into gold
Hmm. Yeah,
over time.
and that's what I'd love to see, right? Like you're definitely getting hit with some permanent loss on
Oh
there,
yeah,
but are the fees that you're collecting enough to kind of offset that?
right. Yeah, and so without a page that can help you prove that, it's really hard to tell. So that'll grow on my priority list. We'll get up there to it here. We're getting some of these other cool features out of the way. Honestly, the more the team kicks out, the harder my job is, and I'm
Hmm.
all for it. Keep the
Hmm.
challenge. Let's keep it rolling.
Especially a day like today. It's not even a release day. You probably thought you had the day off,
Oh,
right?
I know. I was like, oh, but it's so cool though to see these. We've been talking about, oh, it's A1, advanced 2. It's like, well, now we have a
Hmm.
name and we can start. We've got more content we have to get used to. I don't know. I'm excited. It's.
Yeah.
I remember back seeing them in the API the very first time, like November of last year, and be like, wait, what are these abilities? And it's just, it's really cool to finally see some of this coming up and coming to a head.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because I started listening to your pod pretty early on. I think you guys were on episode 3 or 4 when I found it, and
Sure.
Guy, Maddie, and myself had just got into the game. And so when you started saying that, you're like, yeah, there are these abilities and all this. Like I just dropped everything. I was like, guys, there are abilities. They're in the API. Like we have to figure out how to look at them. Like,
Well, and it's funny too. Before I realized it was a problem, I realized that the first few heroes that the devs owned had these abilities. I'm like, there's
mhm.
something here. These are great. I didn't know that that was by accident
The
at the time,
tainted
or I would
genes.
have maybe spoke up. I thought it was just like, hey, these guys know what's up. But
Yeah,
it's
they all have these recessive transcendents. They seem really good.
and like those don't exist anywhere else in the world. I was like, what is this?
Oh, geez. All right. Well, so we're giving them a little time to kind of get ahead of us here, just so that we can keep the pace a little more
Hmm.
active. But so looking at teams here, pouring, we have a dragoon up front with that aim shot. Now you got to remember, aim shot and heavyweight still helpful. You're still taking damage away from a hero that doesn't traditionally take damage, but
Out of
that's
play.
70. It's not quite as much, right?
Right.
Um, but the blitz, he can rearrange his opponent's team with that. In the mid, the dark pact on the Dark Knight is going to be a problem, as it always is. And then we have a dread with a pirate sub in the back line.
So what sort of HP levels would you expect, or health levels, I guess, not the HP from the game, on these heroes at these levels? What would you think?
Yeah, I mean, and we probably should have pulled it up, but I would say the dread is probably very high. I would think probably around 800 for all of them, 850, 900 maybe.
Wow.
The highest one I've seen is Sandwich had a knight that was I think it was 1050 HP,
Oh,
and
that's
it
crazy.
was chipping away at that thing was tough, very tough.
Dang.
All All right, so then going over to Meme Machine's team, and I played him last round. It is actually, it's a new team. But the same kind of combo that he uses is still there. So he subbed in a Dark Knight for his Priest, but he has a Paladin Monk combo. Paladin with the
Retribution.
Retribution. Thank you, and the Monk with the Kai Blast. Both those moves can be absolutely devastating. He gets you in a position where you have to pick, and you're just not going to guess right every time. The second game I played against him yesterday, he had 2 Paladins and a Monk. So it's just danger around every turn.
Is it a time for dark mode?
All right, switching back. Guy, you ready?
Yeah, I might need to. We'll see how the next 5 minutes
I'll keep
goes.
mine up so that we can switch back quickly if we have to.
Cool.
Wow.
So we did miss a couple turns, but that'll be good because we can go through fairly quickly for him.
Great comment by Sergeant there. All right.
Yeah.
Quick.
And you'll notice at the Whale Wars levels, that Dark Knight is building up 47 meter a turn.
That's huge.
So pretty much in 2 turns, he's going to have a full meter.
And instead of taking a quarter of a health bar, it's a full quarter. It's an 1/8 per turn almost.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
Fierce again on both
just
sides.
hitting for 132, which is crazy.
Yeah, they're just hacking each other down.
That's a lot of damage.
Another
Right,
exchange of
they're in
interrupts.
sync here early on.
I'm almost surprised that you don't get a meter boost for double interrupt like you do for double fierce.
Double attack.
Hey, Workhorse in the chat. Welcome. Thank you for all the fun today.
Oh, you bet we added those names. We've been waiting for a year.
Right. He doesn't miss a beat.
Yeah.
That made it a good day, I'll have to say.
Dark Pack from pouring. That's going to
That'll
make him
be
hard
big.
to deal with.
Yep.
And he might not be done. I've played matches with him where he gets multiple Dark Packs in. He's probably already thinking about the second one.
The damage plus the speed. Yeah, no kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That goon is fairly low, though, so you might have to consider switching him out to keep the ability threats alive for later in the game.
Are there any healing in heavyweight? Is healing even viable in any sense, or is it is it kind of just strike and strike hard?
Yeah, I mean the priest has a place. If you can utilize that life tap so that you're healing based on how much damage your front line is doing, because you also gain charge with that too. So it's got a few different dynamics to the move. I've had success healing with the paladin, the chivalry, where it kind of the health displacement. You're taking it away from the paladin and giving it to the other characters.
Mm-hmm.
I've found success with that, but straight heal, it's tough.
Because chivalry kind of does 2 things for you, right? It gives your heavy hitters more health, but it also draws down your paladin health, making retribution a threat faster.
Yeah.
Because retribution does more damage the more health your paladin is missing. So it makes the paladin an actually pretty interesting combination mid-class, or the mid position, for these heavier weight classes.
Yeah, so one thing that I didn't see from pouring there that I was kind of hoping I did or expected to, when he had that Dragoon front line, he had the opportunity to use Blitz and try to separate that Paladin and that Monk. Because the way that it's going right now, if he takes down the Dark Knight, then the Paladin and the Monk, he has to deal with the coin flip of like we were saying, the Kai Blast or the Retribution. I'd almost rather switch them and kind of take that Paladin down first if I could.
He could... couldn't he cannon it? Or wait, did he have cannon barrage as sub?
Well, cannon barrage would knock him back on his own side.
Man,
Blitz,
this is what I'm talking about. I can't keep this all straight. I got to get this ironed out.
Got to get in the Coliseum more.
I know. That's so much fun. I did play quite a few before this tournament at the last minute just to get spooled up a bit, and it helped a lot.
Yeah.
So over under 200 that this Dark Knight's going to be hitting for.
Yeah, we kind of talked over that.
Them.
We kind of talked over that, but the the Dark Knight did get a second Dark Pact off, so not looking great for Mean Machine. But then again, he's got those big blast abilities, so he can come back into it at any time here.
He could one-shot kill the Dark Knight, which would be really interesting.
Yeah,
Ooh.
But the Dread still has plenty of health left too. We can't forget about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, but you spend all that time souping up that Dark Knight, it can go down just as quickly.
Yeah.
And no meter built up there yet either. Or he's expended it all, I guess.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Swap. Okay, so he sends that Dark Knight to the back.
177.
And now it's the guess. If I were pouring here, I think I would move that Dark Knight out of the front. Swap him right back.
He did his damage.
Hope that he uses the skill and kind of waste it on that Dragoon. Sacrifice the Dragoon.
Oh.
Because he's so low health already that, like, yeah, maybe you get a late game skewer in, but
Your good old sacrificial lamb.
Mm-hmm.
I love sacrificing heroes. I feel very accomplished when it works out. Oh, okay, so no big ability. So that plan would have backfired. Okay.
That's why these guys are in the finals, right?
All right, don't that one. That was like a dagger to me right there. Next tournament. This was supposed to be the one where I win both. Like, whoa, that's why I want to put these on, is to win
That's
them.
why we did the double tourney this weekend.
Yeah,
so
it
you
was
can
to
end
give
up with
me
two
more
champions.
chances. Exactly.
Meanwhile, you're sitting on the sidelines commentating. How does that make you feel?
Just sitting with my bloater, just having a
I
great
don't think it
time.
looks pretty comfy.
It really, I like this. This might become my pillow tonight.
I might have to order one of those.
Yeah, no, they're it was it's the best stuffed animal purchase I've made in a long time. The other ones have not lived up.
I was going to say, what's the last stuffed animal you
I was gonna say,
bought?
what are we
The
talking?
last
20 years here?
GameFi game that I got into. Duh. I buy a plush for each of them.
Oh, this Dark Knight just hits so hard. I don't even think we've seen a fierce attack. I think he's just been interrupting and regular hitting the entire time.
Mm-hmm. What was it? It was 174 with regular hits, so
Yeah.
that would be what? It's plus
230.
50%.
Yeah,
I'm
about
not the math guy.
230 fierce attack. So now bringing the Paladin front line, just keep dancing around that Kai Blast or Retribution. Get that Paladin health a little lower.
I feel like if you're Mean Machine, you got to do it while the Dark Knight's in the front line. If he makes a switch pouring, it kind of limits the effectiveness of what you can do.
You gotta time it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You call it now, he might just swap right back, as a ploy.
Yeah, or he might interrupt. It's
Mind games are on
tense
so many
having-
different levels.
It's tense having the meter too, because you know
did
that's
it.
your chance.
Yeah. Feeling another interrupt.
From pouring, yeah, I think so.
See, there's definitely some text there.
Click the button.
Something happened. Oh yeah, I'd never even thought to.
Shield Slam,
And the
Ooh.
Retribution. Okay, Retribution not doing. All right, I guess he's,
278's a good chunk,
it is, but
but
he's
it's
still
there's
near
still
half
a
health.
whiles to go. Yep.
Hmm The game's evened out though. It's
Yeah, it has.
We're definitely in Mean
'Cause
Machine.
that Dread still has a good chunk of health too. He's still sitting at 50%.
Yeah, Mean Machine.
Yeah, so
grinded
400 or 500.
Shield
I haven't
Slam.
seen that in a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Talk about your Legionnaire right there.
Mm-hmm.
Ish.
Yeah, that one looks a little more mobile than what I'm picturing our Legionnaires as.
Oh yeah.
Kind of sitting there with the shield up.
So I had a kind of a fun bug on the site, if you will. Once I released the new classes, I didn't realize in the alerts I had the health set to the minimum, which used to be 120, and the Scholar, or 110 rather, and the Scholar had 105 health. So no one was triggering scholar alerts for a bit.
Oh, because that was a
Because it was
qualification.
below the minimum. I was like, oh,
jeez.
like, so those guys are squishy beyond squishy.
Yeah, low health for the scholar.
Which makes sense. It's appropriate, but I didn't think it would be lower than the priest.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Low in terms of casters.
They don't even go outside. I mean, it makes sense.
Sitting there reading their books. Shield
Another
slam
shield
again.
slam.
Decaying blade. 80 damage.
Interesting.
And that Dark Knight's still hanging around. He'll take down whoever's front line next turn.
See what he's doing with that shield slam, not only switching their position, but the front line is going on cooldown. So now this turn, Retribution is not in play. So that's what I meant before by separating that monk and that paladin. I meant separating them by killing one, but when they're not in the game at the same time, it kind of limits the threats.
Fascinating.
So, we'll see. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's worth getting a Dark Pact off because he's such low health.
Right.
I mean, but
because you have the ability threats to handle the dread once you get back to the dread, but it's I don't think this whoever's front line is going to survive a Dark Knight attack. Maybe you try to sneak in an ability to take out the Dark Knight before he can get a hit in.
Who's got the speed boost? That's the question.
Yeah.
It looks like I think it was Pouring's Dark Knight. Yeah.
Pouring's Dark Knight.
Oh, right, because it has 2 Dark Pacts on it.
What is that?
Oh, yeah, so it's fast.
Wall of text. Another Dark Pact. Invoke Despair. Oh, that's a big hit. And then a Dark Pact from Meme Machine. Okay, he'll go up front.
Is that Dark Knight surviving? No.
No.
See, that was a great move with the Invoke Despair, though. For anyone who doesn't know, the Invoke Despair, what it does is it cuts the auto attack in half for your opponent for that turn and then the next turn. So this turn, even with the Dark Pact, he's going to be hitting for 50% of what he would have, Mean Machine.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So, little tough.
Yeah, I feel like the obvious interrupt here is the Kai Blast. Like,
yeah.
Is that your only move from Mean Machine? Is there any other way to play this?
I think you figure that Pouring's gonna interrupt that Kai Blast. You fierce attack with the Dark Knight and get at least one hit of, that full power of the Dark Pact. Right. He'll be faster than the Dread.
What other ability does he have? Is there any meter skill he's got otherwise as a sub?
Goes to the Decaying Blade route, which I think nets out as the most amount of damage since his normal attack did 66.
Invoke Despair is now off, though.
Yeah, as far as the Dark Knight goes.
And while you're looking, welcome to Bob that we had hanging in the lobby without noticing him for a few minutes there. Hope it wasn't too long, Bob.
Did I go back? I skipped the game.
Bob, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
He's got a monk subclass, so that's really not playable.
Okay, yeah.
I was not talking. Can you hear me now?
I can, yeah.
You bet.
Welcome.
There's that Kai Blast. But it looks like Pouring did a switch as well. So
right.
Play that one more time?
Yeah, I'll play that.
Yeah, so the Kai Blast kind of was wasted.
Mm-hmm.
So he sacrificed the Dragoon to keep the Dread, which may have won him in the match if he didn't do that switch.
Yeah, you got nothing now as a monk.
I think Mean Machine has it.
Yeah, that's a game-winning performance there, or move.
Final turn, backstab, trying to maximize the damage, but with overpower, that Dread.
We have to go to the
Oh, that meme didn't load right. Nine Dwarf's more worried about the memes than the actual turns.
I'll comment on what I know.
There you go. As long at least the Kirby feet haven't popped up in here yet. That's something
that's
that we
true.
don't need from the DFK Discord. But yeah, while we wait for them to ramp up game 2, Bob, welcome. Tough match. Left it all out there in the Coliseum. How do you feel post game?
I feel all right about it. Yeah, I was looking at his team before, and I don't think I was favored. I think that was kind of a bad matchup. 'Cause he just punishes the front line, man. He's a beast. He's kind of doing what I'm doing, except he's punishing the front line instead of the midline. And his pirates were actually faster than all of my guys, and they hit harder, which was
wow.
crazy. Yeah.
That's X, yeah.
So I was kind of going in there with the theory that I had to get a interrupt, and I had to get a big skill off.
Yeah.
And it worked in game 2, and I had a small window in game 3 where I was sure that he wasn't going to let me cleave, and if I had gone for it, that was the one.
Mm-hmm.
That was my shot. So I
Yeah.
went for Archer instead, and he interrupted, which was basically the worst. So
Right. Yeah, you're
'Cause
going
if
of
he
the
had
lesser
first
two
attacked, I
moves,
coulda
and
got
then
the
he
Archer
interrupts it on
image.
top of that.
And yeah, it was super thin after that, but he was too fast. Those pirates were 28 and 29 speed with massive damage.
Yeah, that's where effects he does
was
his
really good.
research.
Really good team.
Yeah, he does his research. He makes sure he stacks those stats. Yeah, he finds good heroes. And then shout out to Tolls. He has to go. If anyone else wants to jump in there and give us some memes, not tune fed, because I think he has a kind of meme that we don't want to see with those Kirby feet. But anybody else, thank you,
Other comment.
Tolls. All right, Guy, we have any lineup changes for game 2 here?
Mean Machine actually threw in a second Paladin into his
Yeah.
lineup. And then
This
did
is
Pouring
the-
open with the Dragoon front line last game, or did he have
He
had
did.
that dark? Yeah.
He did, because I remember I was asking for a blitz. But this lineup by Meme Machine, this is the one that gave me severe PTSD. I couldn't sleep last night. I was waking up with cold sweats because of how badly he beat me with it. There we go. The intern got in there, got some memes
Yes.
going. Love it.
What do we got for levels? We got level 12s across the board for me, and then Pouring actually has 2 level 13s.
Yeah, those probably got stammed up like yesterday.
Quick meditate. That'll make for an interesting start.
Mm-hmm. So I mean that game was very even. Did we get any successful? I guess there was one successful retribution. Was there anything else?
Mean Machine finished off someone with the Kai Blast, I think.
Right. So I wouldn't even call that successful because of the swap.
Yeah, he had a couple
Right.
of turns where it would have been pretty much game over, right?
Right.
But he
Right.
didn't. He didn't do it.
And that's what I'm thinking. Like, if I'm Meme Machine, I'm thinking, okay, I just hung with him for 22 turns or whatever it ended up being, and I didn't even get my real finisher off.
Right.
I'm feeling okay going into turn 2, even with a loss.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, I thought he
the
was
game.
favored until the end. It just really broke bad.
Mm-hmm. Okay, double interrupt. 2 heroes in the front that aren't doing massive damage. Not doing bad damage, but
Gotta take a lot of turns at this rate.
Yeah. I feel like for a heavyweight, how many turns did that last match go? 18? I feel like that's fairly
kinda
fast
quick.
for a heavyweight. Yeah.
kind of quick.
The Dark Pack, there was a lot of damage being dealt.
Mm-hmm.
Another meditate. So interesting combination Mean Machine has that both his paladin and his monk is of course a monk, but his paladin's a monk sub as well. So you'll notice he's got a heavy favorite in the meter game right now.
Yeah, the thing is, early on, that Paladin's not really in a place to be a threat yet, health-wise, because as we were saying, Retribution does deal more damage with more, or with less health remaining. So
he
Must
wants
be-
to threaten this Kai Blast, and Pouring wants that monk in the front to die.
Yeah, exactly. Because if Pouring can get the monk down early, like we were saying, there's really not a whole lot of threat from the paladins until they get to low health. And then if a paladin's low health, you can pretty much call that
Right.
a good sign for pouring as well.
Yeah, they are a little one-dimensional. The paladins.
Yep.
It's not, you know what's going to be thrown at you. Swap. All right. So he gets that monk out of there for now. And he'll welcome the damage here. As long as he's dealing a decent amount back, it's okay.
Yeah. And do you just, if you're Mean Machine, do you just kind of like hold off and try to play the interrupt game on the other side? And kind of go more defensive?
Yeah, I mean, you got to get your damage where you can. Oof, that skewer hurts.
And Mean Machine was thinking the same thing I was, of like, don't repeat game one. Don't let that Dark Knight just normal attack you for 170.
Mm-hmm.
And pouring read him like a book, and that skewer hit for 384. It's brutal.
Yeah. And AP makes a good point. We're not talking about the chivalry. He can distribute that health around the team as he kind of sees fit with those two paladins.
Yeah.
Well, now he's got double retribution
Mm-hmm.
that are
Right.
both really good, right?
Only one. The other one would have been very low damage, the midline.
Yeah, since midline doesn't have low health yet,
Oh.
that chivalry kind of balances things out a little bit, but still not quite.
Okay. So full health on the monk in the back row.
Yeah. It's good for long game, but you gotta figure out how to even out the dragoon to the pally. Maybe pouring has some kind of switch in mind too.
Does he have a meter for Dark Pack this turn?
Not yet.
Not
He's just
yet.
short.
Just-
Very close.
Because that would be a huge threat here, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. He's going to want to get that dread involved at some point as well. I feel like he typically switches to that around this point in the game.
Yeah, and if you're Mean Machine, do you anticipate a switch? Do you try to sneak in a retribution here?
I think I might. I mean, that's the tough thing about the switch, right? You're leaving yourself wide open.
Right.
But we do get the switch? No. Okay. Wait, what? Did
Wait,
he
he
just...
switched.
Yeah.
Mean switched.
Okay.
He
Mean
wants to
Machine
get
got
the
that
monk
monk
into
back
play.
in. Yeah, Guy, when you pull it up, we miss the first, second. So just
Yeah.
always start over.
Yeah, I try to go quick.
Yeah. Okay. Switch. So he had interrupted that midline.
Well, 7 turns in, and I feel like we haven't seen much from pouring's just kind of hanging out,
Mm-hmm.
and we just snuck up to that 1 meter. So Dark Pact is a little bit of a threat here. You're not going to see another skewer. I don't know what
Probably not.
Is the goon sub? Is that a pirate? I think so.
The goon sub is Archer.
Guesses?
I mean, I think I know what it is. Looks like a Dark Pact to me.
Yep.
There it is.
Got it
Pouring
off.
Dark Pact. But did he pay for it?
Yeah, what's
Is
the
there a
trade-off?
big attack
At what
cut? Yep.
cost?
And there goes the goon.
Yep. That's big.
All right. I mean, if you're going to give up a Dark Pact, that's the way you want to do it, right? You don't want to interrupt the wrong guy or, have a turn where you're not dealing any damage.
Right.
So now it's the Key Blast dance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you just pouring's got to be ready for it on his side, but maybe I don't know. Maybe he's
Retribution is good
overthinking
too,
it.
right?
Retribution will be on cooldown because it just got
Oh,
used.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So for this turn, he's safe from that. I mean, you can interrupt midline freely.
Mean might just need to go for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's always an option, kind of, when everyone knows it's the obvious move.
Yeah.
You
Just
don't
make it.
prepare for it.
Pouring will play the leveling game with you in Fierce here sometimes.
Wait, is this new? No, I thought that was a new turn for a second. Welcome, Tad, the champ, the Baby
Yo.
Cup champ. Welcome onto the stream. How you doing?
What's up, man? How are you? I'm a
Good.
little sick. I'm under the weather, recovering from COVID, but yeah.
Oh, geez.
That would be better, man.
Yeah.
I'm good though. I'm good though. How y'all?
At least it didn't affect you in the Coliseum there.
Yeah, I got my Karen haircut on, man. Good games.
Nah, it was GG, bro. Honestly, I don't want to interrupt this match. So you want to go after, or you want? I could talk through it, or
Yeah, talk through it, and when we get a new turn, we'll do the turn quick, and then we have some time in between.
I bet. Oh yeah, nah. But basically, honestly, he really would have won if he just cleaved, but it was just one of those things where it's third round, so you kind of have tendencies already picked up from each other, and it's like he kind of realizes, okay, this guy's smart, and I'm like, okay, he's smart, so he's like, let's not make the smart move, let's just do some random move. So that's kind of how I thought, like, okay, what is he gonna think that I'm gonna do? And the obvious answer is I lose if I get cleaved, so I should interrupt cleave. And then I'm like, okay, that kind of makes sense. Let me just, you know what I'm saying? Like what Rav did to me on I think it was game 2 yesterday, when he just let his nuts hang. I really could have 2-0'd him, and he just let his nuts hang and just, I forgot what he did to me, but like, it was just like, it was nasty. I
He
was
was just
like,
going for it. Well,
yeah,
we were just saying before you hopped on the stream that sometimes the best move is the obvious move because your opponent thinks like, no, that's too obvious. He won't do that. You know?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
why
well-
this is fun. That's the leveling game right there.
Yeah. What do we got here, guy? Missed that turn.
Pouring
Oh,
for whatever reason is like, you know what? My Dark Knight just not hitting quite hard enough. I need another Dark Pact.
So yeah, he could have got key blasted there, right?
Yeah, he
Mhm.
could have. Now
Mean
Mean
Machine
Machine has a lot of meter. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Chivalry to try to get that middle Paladin's health down a little bit so he can get to that dual threat area again with the Retribution.
Yeah, Mean Machine seems hesitant to go for the kill shot. I don't know. I thought we was seeing a Kai Blast by now.
Oh, he got interrupted.
I thought that was replaying the last turn.
Oh,
But it was not. Here we are talking about Mean Machine saying you just got to go for that Kai Blast, and sure enough,
Brutal.
yeah, that would have been big. That would have been game.
Essentially, yeah. It
That's
would
why
have been.
pouring's pouring.
Yeah. I mean, I think Mean Machine might have thought the obvious move was the Chivalry there, right? Like you were
Right.
saying, guy. And so he went away from it, and pouring zagged with him. Is that a switch to start? Okay.
That was a switch. What did we switch? Moving the monk into the middle to save him so that we can get back to that 3 meter.
Mhm.
And then that way he can end the game with the double Retribution Kai Blast threat.
Yeah.
bro, heavyweight is cracked. It's such a different game from lightweight and baby. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, completely different. I mean, the good heroes in the Baby Cup are not the good heroes in the heavyweight,
for
which
sure.
changes the whole skill dynamics that come into.
I'm surprised there's not a lot more poison and stuff like that, but I think that's more like middleweight. Like
Yeah.
middleweight is probably where poison and burn like really stacks well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like poison will do an extra 10 damage. So over 3 turns, that's an extra 30. Meanwhile, these guys are hitting normal attacks
Yeah.
for 60, 130. So it's like if you can just kind of buff up your normal attacks, it does more damage than the poison does.
Yeah, and this is something that we've mentioned before, but Raph has been doing a lot of work with Konix on scaling ability damage or skill damage so that it's a little bit more impactful in heavyweight, but it still plays kind of the same in babyweight. So might be seeing something like that coming down the pipe. Oof, big retribution there from the midline for Mean Machine. It was it was a shield slam too. So
Yeah, he pulls that monk back out front.
Mhm.
And that monk won't be able to survive another hit from the Dark Knight. So we'll see if Mean Machine tries to dance him out or not.
yeah, I think I move it. He just used the retribution, so he can't use that. The Kai Blast is going to be on cooldown because of the shield slam.
You're not at 3 meter yet either, anyways.
Oh, true.
Or maybe
No,
guess
that
you
was
are.
before he used it.
before the retribution. There you go.
Mhm.
But you don't want to switch that back pally to the front because that back pally is going to die to the Dark Knight too.
Do you let it?
Yeah, I guess you could.
He's in a tough spot. He has to get. I guess he's got a lot of big hitters for that Dark Knight, but he's got to get one, or the Dread Knight. I mean.
Yeah, there's a lot of moves that could take that Dread Knight down fast, but he's got to get through this Dark Knight first.
Swap.
So there's the swap.
So he did put him.
And he does survive that first hit, which is big. But we also saw a swap from pouring as well, which is interesting.
It's so funny when you're playing a good player. You're really in your own head more. It's so funny, like just watching, like even watching the games when I was playing, yesterday, I was watching the games and I was just like, yo, once you're like playing somebody that you played before, it's like you're in your own head, really.
Yep.
Yeah, and that with the heavyweight, it just has so much more time to kind of evolve over a course of, 20 plus turns that it takes. I played Mean Machine last, and he's someone who's had my number with the interrupts since this game. Since we all discovered this game, he was one of the first people in, and no matter what I do, he always is right on it. I don't know. I got to start doing the exact opposite of what I want to do when I play him. Just totally switch it up.
You got to get a random number roller every once in a while to throw that in there.
Swapping on turn one.
You're in your own
Not a bad
head
idea.
when there were a couple times in the Baby Cup that I actually changed my move before my opponent got the move in. So I actually changed my
I
move
do
like
that
3
constantly.
times.
You can always adjust move before that loading bar starts.
That calculating
Pro tip
starts.
there.
It's dangerous.
Oh,
There's the
retribution from the mid.
That helps.
And pouring's definitely in the driver's seat, but that levels things out a little more.
Yeah, I think the problem is how hard that Dark Knight hits for. So you almost have to time. If you get in a position where you can kill the Dread, you almost have to time it so that it already attacked, if that makes sense.
Right.
Because otherwise the Dark Knight moves up, hits an attack, and
Because
Might
he'll
be
be
like
first,
that.
right? Almost guaranteed.
right. But if you're faster than the Dread,
Yep.
or if the Dread's faster than you, it would have already hit. The speed wouldn't matter on the Dark Knight.
See, we need a dashboard. I'm telling you.
Yeah, we do.
Getting a
Well, especially
fierce
once the
attack.
buffs come in, then you really don't know.
Yeah,
You can
Fierce,
interrupt
he's doing a
out.
lot of damage.
Yeah, I think you can too. Because this Paladin doesn't hit too hard, so even a fierce attack from the Paladin wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, that fierce against an interrupt. I think me needed to retribution or something that turn
Yeah,
because now he's way outstatted.
right. Yeah, if you can get a retribution in here,
Yeah, but
it probably
it's
will
gonna
take
get
down the
interrupted.
Dread, but that's got to be predictable. And
The game
we have
is
some
finished.
game over, guys. What just
What?
happened?
Here we go
It's a wrap.
for the heavyweight title. I don't think the
Overpower.
Meditate's gonna be the one that
Overpower.
did it.
The
Oh, no.
meditate killing from the overpower.
Oh, brutal
Ouch.
finish for Mean Machine, but congrats to the champ.
How many wins is that for
Pouring.
pouring?
It's 2.
That is his second. He won the last Baby Cup.
Yeah.
So you took that crown from him, and now his first heavyweight championship, which I know means more to him from conversations that I've had with him. So, congrats to him.
Well
was a lot of
done.
fun.
Jeez, congrats to pouring, man.
Yeah,
That's boring. Great game, Mean Machine. Bob, Tad, great games in the Baby Cup too. Congrats on the title.
Yeah,
man,
well
GG's,
done. That was
bro.
fun to watch, by
It
the
was
way.
fun. Nah, it was fun.
Yeah, man. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Appreciate
and
it.
and
still
have
the
more
pouring
for you
player. Grady.
here, too.
That's my
Crypto
backup
Grady.
title.
All right. When I saw Tad, when I saw Aphex in the house, I'm like, all right.
My guy Grady, man.
Man, you're a freaking legend, a beast.
Yeah, I
And
appreciate
Nindorf,
you. I love
getting
you,
that
bro.
already on, getting your site already updated with the abilities. Oh,
Man, I've
love
been
it.
waiting. Of course I was going to jump on that.
That was fun, you guys.
Now, Grady, you were one of the reasons that I came back to DFK, because I've been in DFK probably 3 different times.
Really?
And the last time I came back to DFK, it was like when I took it serious, it was you and then the Mythic Squad video when y'all were talking about abilities. Because all right, so the first time I ever got hooked on abilities, Bogside Chats last, I think it was like either at the beginning of this year, they did a video and they were talking about advanced abilities. And that was one of the first time when I was like, you know what? Let me just make sure. I didn't go for them. I just was like, yo, if I get it by luck or whatever when I'm summoning, let me just keep them. Right. And then when Mythic Squad with you did the whole breakdown on Elite and Trans, I was like, you know what? This game is kind of in depth and it's actually affordable to get back in right now. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get back in crazy.
That was such a game changer when I had those guys on, and it was like light bulb went off.
Yeah,
I read a lot of elite abilities after that video.
They're crazy with what they do, though. The Mythic Squad, they'll dark summon things that have advanced, elite. Like they go for the top of the top, and it works out. Mosh just got that. Mythic Dragoon with an elite and 2 advanced, or 2 elites and an advanced?
Elite double advanced.
Oh, absurd.
Top tier hero in the game. Probably what, top 5?
Yeah.
That's a beautiful hero.
Probably has a shot at being number 1, right? I mean,
he told me it was number 7, but I was like, nah. But because there were some Dread Knights, I think there was maybe even like a Mythic Dread Knight Transcendent or something.
There was.
Oh, okay.
That's
definitely better.
I think it was one of those. It was like a warrior mixed with a Dread Knight. Just hoping that you grab the right one.
Right.
And it rolled. I mean, it rolled.
So crazy. Rock is in the house and Vibes. Rock, are you alive? Are you doing okay? I don't think he's done a video in a little while. Which is
that whatever he caught when he went down to Miami,
I know.
That hit him hard.
He got it from me.
Out of commission.
I'm still a tiny little bit sick from that.
Such a giver you are.
It just lingered.
Oh, man.
Well, yeah, we hear
glad
Raph's
you're
got
starting to
something
feel
now, too,
better.
man. It's just it's that time of year.
Yeah. All right, I think it's time. Should we spin the wheel again?
Yeah.
Let's spin that wheel. How many more prizes do we have to give away?
We've only done 2. We said that we were going to do it after every game, and then we started talking.
It's too much to talk about. There's too many things going on. Those matches are great.
So much.
There is. To any of you, any of the new folks on the screen want anything from today's AMA, takeaways, or
I didn't
favorite
watch it
card, or whatever?
Oh,
it's a lot, man.
It was
I'm digesting.
I watched it 4 times. I went through back
already.
It just boom, boom,
it's a lot.
Boom.
It's awesome.
And one of my biggest takeaways was he said that he said Hubert said something along the lines of like combat is substantially more for XP.
Mm-hmm.
Not just a little bit more, but a lot of it more for the XP gain. So when combat comes, that's when we're going to see the huge, I guess, XP. Because he said the level 10 profession quest obviously will help. And that's kind of what I was thinking. I think people were overestimating how much XP people would be gaining from profession 10 level quests. Like it's still going to take forever, but he said, yeah, it's not really the level 10 profession quest will help a lot, but not as much as we might think. It's the combat that's like, whoa, that's an XP thing.
Well, like PvE or PvP?
That makes sense to me, though. Level 10
like
profession
PvP.
quest, I feel like, is for mats. I mean, like, if you're getting deeper in profession, you want materials. You don't want XP, right? I think that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how you distinguish your professional combatants versus your professional foragers.
Yeah, we got, I think
combat's a profession, right?
Is Mean Machine in
yeah, so we're cheap over here at Bogside Chats, the non-whale podcast, so we didn't pay for StreamYard, so we have a max of 6 people on here.
You can knock me out. That was part of the reason why I was like, nah, I won't come on. I'll let the winners come on. I'll hop off. Kick me out.
All right, knock me off too. I didn't win.
I mean, I hate to do that, but Grady, we'll have you on again soon, and we'll talk about everything that happened today with Workhorse. All right.
I love you guys.
Good to see you.
Thanks for hopping on.
Workhorse, you're amazing.
Yeah, Workhorse, man.
Yes.
Shout out Workhorse, man.
Yeah.
I
All
love
right.
it. We'll see you guys.
All right. See ya.
Later.
Workhorse is really tapped in with the community. That's why, bro. I'm not gonna lie. He's one of the reasons why I'm like every time I'm on a pod and I'm on the YouTube and I just see him and he starts smiling when he talks about DFK. I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah. It's a good time to be here.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. He definitely loves what he does, and like he's a founder over there. Like he, clearly knows what he's doing from a business perspective and loves video games. So that's a good combo. Mean Machine, how are you?
Ooh, I'm feeling beat. How y'all doing?
Ooh, got a little something. You're very low. You sound like you're talking from the other side of the room there.
Can you hear me better now?
Nope, got worse actually.
Pouring sentiment into the stratosphere.
All right,
Or
you
Machine.
figure that out. We're gonna spin this wheel that I put up on the screen to tease everybody.
There you go.
So we're gonna shuffle it up. This is number 3. I never wrote down number 2 is Zealous.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Nope.
You're still low.
It's low, but it's like a muffled type
you
of low.
underwater?
It's not just a yeah. It sounds exactly like you're underwater. All right, here we go. Here's the spin.
And so there's 6 Gen 1s given away. So this will really just kind of be picking which Gen 1 you want.
Eric's here.
Eric's
right.
here. Congrats.
Congrats.
I'm really glad I know the
Well, you know
pronunciation
what?
of that now.
Here, I'm gonna send you a hero, friends, to give away. It's
Yeah,
actually
you tossing one in.
baby
Nice.
cup hero.
Nice. What's the ID? I'll pull it up.
989. It was summoned on SD.
Oh,
2.0.
okay. All right.
It's actually
wait,
pretty
so-
cracked, honestly.
The
This
Archer?
it's an Archer Warrior.
He's good, yeah.
What's it? 32 speed.
Ooh.
Let's see.
Mm,
Do we
Level
think I
one?
got the zeros
7.
right on the first try?
No chance.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Wow.
Getting good at that. Oh, it's that nice pink backpack there.
Yeah, it's pretty cracked.
Archer Warrior.
Earth 2.
Oh wow, look at this. This is the first time I'm seeing the skills in there.
Oh,
Earth element.
let's go,
Oh, man.
Dwarf.
And it's a forager for
Yeah.
non PvP or non Fight Club stuff. Dex there. Man, that is nice. So
The
wait,
green
let's look
dex
at
is
its-
big for baby cup if you want to
So-
keep it at level 1.
Yeah, so
It's kind
we
of
got a
cracked.
heal there.
Some
Cleanse,
leadership.
which that one I'm thinking knock all the buffs off or all the
Yeah.
nerfs off, debuffs.
Yep.
Leadership, I think, did they mention what that one does?
It's like a group buff.
Yeah, it'll boost
Yeah,
your teammates.
Okay. And then Foresight.
No idea. Oh, that's a passive, so maybe that's like a save against some other attack.
Okay. Like an
'Cause it's a
elusive
passive, you don't have to do it.
dodge.
You're just like better against like a mental attack.
Or could it be, since it's turn based, could you see your opponent's move randomly one time? No, that's too much.
Yeah, it seems like too much. But like with the name, like I get what you're going for there.
Yeah.
It's probably like, wisdom will be magic resistance of some sort. So foresight will be like you see something coming.
Yeah.
Like, and can defend better.
Damage
against-
mitigation or something.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So I'll add this to the
That's a
list.
nice hero.
Now for baby cup, it is. It's a really good hero, honestly.
Hold on, I'm just throwing this one in here so we don't lose
Yeah,
it.
would you guys rather
left.
a Gen 1 10 out of 10 or a Dragoon?
Depends on
I mean,
the goon. But
yeah.
those
I mean,
things
probably a
are just-
goon, right?
Yeah, we might actually see that go fairly early.
I've always been surprised with how, like, there was a crystal prize in the last one and that got taken first. And the more I thought about it, it made sense. But I don't know. I thought people were gonna go for the Gen Zero summon. I'm just a gambler. Like I want to click the button and anything can come out. All right,
Spin
do
the
another
wheel.
one quick.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I was happy to win a rare elite from Mosh last time, which I picked over a bunch of Gen Zeros. That was way better.
Justice, the
Hey.
Beeve.
Beeve.
So
Mythic
he will be
Squad. Very nice.
picking whatever Gen Zero combo has advanced abilities. This is the one that he'll take.
For sure.
All right, cool. Oh, we lose me machine. He stopped trying.
Yeah, we'll see if he hops back. He's
Yeah.
probably maybe doing some testing on his computer with his mic.
Oh no,
You
he's
guys
here.
want to let me back on?
Yep.
Hey, how's it going?
Heard
That's
that.
much better.
Perfect. I
Awesome.
switched devices.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice.
That,
Yeah, I'm on
that
my
computer
iPad.
lost the finals so bad it can't even do mics anymore.
Pouring broke it. He broke your computer. Yeah. So how does it feel? You were with him in that first game and in the second game, but in the first game it was very close, and you really didn't get any big abilities off. So I felt like you were right there.
Yeah, I'm kicking myself because I felt like there's kind of the moves that you think are the first move, and then there's the second and third moves that all the good players have. And I kept waiting for him to do his second and third move. He just kept with his plan, and I never interrupted him. And I'm kicking myself afterwards, but he played a hell of a game, and it was great. I felt like I left it all out there. So it was a great first time to play pouring.
Oh yeah, you were saying that
was
first
your
match
first
with
time?
him. Whew. Yeah, it's you did well against him. He definitely knows what he's doing. He had beefy heroes. Now we all got to start ramping up for the next tournament to make sure he doesn't take it home again. He's got 2 championships now. He's in the lead.
Oh yeah, if you told me that the person who won the heavyweight tournament would still be using a Dark Pact Dark Knight strategy, I would have like out of all the other things we have, that's still the best move. It's crazy.
Yeah, I was saying earlier your kind of coin flip strategy of the Kai Blast and the Retribution in game 2 for us and the semis when you pulled out that second Paladin. I was just like, oh, should I just forfeit right now? Like it's too much guessing. I'll go up against a Dark Knight and a Dark Pact any day. It's less stressful, I think.
Yep, that's the whole goal, is to make the opponent stress about it and just sit back and pick apart their strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try to get them beyond the defensive, and you just throw in some fierce attacks and a couple other softer abilities and just stay ahead on the health game.
That was the plan.
Yeah.
It's
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, seems like with heavyweight, so many turns though, it's hard because like, all right, baby cup at least, right, and the baby cup or whatever, right? You have like they only have like a max of like what 30 turns to see your tendencies. In
Right.
heavyweight, it's so drawn out. You could pick up tendencies in one round, like, and then you have 3 rounds to pick up tendencies. I kind of like it, honestly. You know what? I was playing Hold for Life, right, in middleweight. That's kind of like as far as I've gotten. And I was playing him, and I was like, I kind of like middleweight because it's like that in between. You can still think, you can still develop tendencies and pick apart people.
Yep.
And it's not too cracked because I don't have the heroes yet. I'm kind of getting there though, but I'll probably be ready for heavyweight next. I'll probably join in.
All right.
Maybe
Congrats on the
Boots and,
Baby Cup win. Welcome to the Champions
Yeah.
Club, by the way.
Oh, thank you, bro. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, you're gonna get that yellow highlight in the on your name in the Discord, so people know
Thank
who
you.
you are when you come around. You know. No, but the light heavyweight is pretty good too, because it's Bob. What is light heavyweight again? It's I think
14 cap.
24.
40,
28?
max. Yeah, 28.
Okay, 28, 14 max. So yeah, you could do like a level 10, level 8 is a good one. It's a nice in between there.
Yeah.
You could pull
Yeah.
a Corey and run a level 12, level 4, level 8.
They're that priest mid class, and just hopefully they don't have an archer aim shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or poison.
Priest or Berserker.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna draw a few more raffles. There is one thing that we wanted to discuss. Some updates to Fight Club that dropped yesterday that we're really excited about.
Yeah.
So first off, there is now a 1.1 crystal option. So there are a few people asking for kind of a lesser spend option where they could still earn the raffle tickets. So that is in there now. But the bigger news, and let me see if I could.
I can go back to me too. I got
Yeah,
it.
you wanna do that. So the bigger news, we are getting closer and closer to dungeon crawling. Konix has been in the lab working hard on building a dungeon crawler, and we have the first release of items. So now when you play a paid match, a raffle ticket match, you are not only getting those raffle tickets, you have a chance to get an item drop. And these are DFK Fight Club, or they're Fight Club items. They're not in-game DFK items. They're used specifically in here, and they're going to be your access to the dungeon. So
you want to switch over to my screen?
Oh, that's what you're waiting for. You can just grab it, I think. Yeah. So this is a little preview of the dungeon crawler here, and how kind of the movement through it will be. And Guy, if you scroll down a little bit more, these are the 3 items. So we have keys, sextants, which I've never heard that word, but
it's a word. It's a thing.
Talismans.
And what was that?
Yeah, it's like a D&D thing. It's like talismans.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
If Matt were on the stream, he would yell at me. He's the D&D guy in our crew. And parchments, which are the most important piece. It says there they allow you to enter the dungeon. So essentially, you're going to the parchments are the maps, but to reveal them, you need to use the sextant, and you need a certain amount of keys based on how rare of a map you get, right? So once you get into the dungeon, there will be more rewards. We're still kind of discussing how that will work, and the ability to bring items into the dungeon with you, health vials, health jugs, or whatever the larger one's called, the mana for charge gain. So we are looking at ways to give added utility to the existing DFK items. So I think that's great. It's going to be a lot of fun, but you might see these items when you're in the AI battles.
Yeah, so this should be fun. It's just another form of gameplay. I mean, a dungeon crawler is something everyone's been asking for a while. And we should see this released soon. But if you enjoy playing those PvE matches and earning raffle tickets, this will just be a little sprinkle on top of the raffle tickets as well.
Yeah. Once the dungeon crawling's here, it's going to be a good time. I'm very excited for it. There's a lot of talk about how we integrate guilds into it. There was talk of maybe like guild-controlled dungeons where the guild will get to set the defenses. There was talk of a sort of control aspect where the deeper you go into the dungeon, you collect more of these items that give your guild control and what that means. So a lot of it's still kind of early stages of deciding, but there are a lot of different ways that we can go with it. And you can tell if you've ever interacted with Konix in the Discord, you could tell he really takes a lot of care with what he puts out there. He's never like, yeah, sure, I'll make this change or I'll buff this hero. It's always very well thought out. Dungeon crawling is going to be the same way. So, all right, should we spin again?
Yeah, let's spin that wheel. How many more? We got like 5 more.
Did I write down the last one? Yeah, Justice. So we have 6 more because we added the 1.
Nice.
All right, guys. I think I got to bail, but been great here.
All right, Neindorf. Thanks for hopping on.
Absolutely. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and thanks for updating that site. ADFK has the names now of the skills. I'm going to be spending my night on there.
Yeah, we'll get more out there too. It's still just kind of on that page. There's other pages I'll get to, but tomorrow's problem.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
love it.
Take it easy, guys.
All right,
See ya.
easy.
See ya.
Have a great one, Neindorf. You're a legend.
He is a legend.
Yes, he is.
He is a legend. I'm not gonna lie.
And another legend, the meme legend, Tolls for thee, going home with a prize tonight for all.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Tolls was so funny. Because I try to keep composure when I'm playing. I'm just like, bro. I'm just like, yo, it's so funny, bro. Honestly, it was so funny.
So that started a few tournaments ago. He started doing that, and we were all calling him the meme lord or the meme king or whatever. And so he was ready for. He told me, he messaged me. He's like, make sure I don't miss the finals. Like, I'll be there. I'll be sending memes. I'm like, all right, man, let's do it.
Oh, he's so funny. Somebody did that yesterday. Like they threw in one, and it was kind of cracked. It was that game too. I'm not gonna lie. I was rewatching that game. It's crazy that I lost that game, but I was like, he played so nice. I was playing against Raph. He had enough for like I think it was a cleave or something. And no, was it somebody else? Oh no, Daryl Evil.
Daryl Evil.
Yeah, that
Fight
game.
Club veteran.
I plundered him when he had enough meter for cleave. I stole
Oh
the
yeah, I
meter.
need that.
Yeah, I stole the
Oh, so
meter,
Cleve
Pirate
didn't
meme.
go
so
off.
so Cleve didn't go off.
That's my
And then
move
it
right
showed
there.
that.
I
I never
love it.
seen that animation before. I was like, I got to try this. And then somebody put the pirate in it. That was Bob, right? That was you?
That was me. I love
Yeah,
it. I
that was
love a
him.
pirate. I played the
Yeah, he
pirate
put
in
the
the
Pirates of the
lightweight tournament.
Caribbean, and I started laughing, man. I was like, I'm trying to keep composure, and the game is like, I'm at the edge of my
Awesome.
seat, man. And I see that, I started laughing. I was like,
You got to give him the Jack Sparrow after you plunder interrupt him.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Seeing
gotta
that, I
do
was
it.
like, I didn't like. I thought in my head, in theory, it was possible, but I never seen the animation. And then when it said
Right.
Cleve go, and then it just blanked out, I was like, oh, thank
It
God.
interrupts it. Yeah, it's great. You can
It's
do
the
the
best
same with
feeling in the game.
the Dark Knight ability, but they're not usually fast enough to do it.
Decaying blade, right?
But yeah, the pirate can do it real easy. It's really not. I love a pirate for doing that.
Yeah. Cool. Let's spin.
Same thing with Shield Slam too.
Yeah, but they're usually not fast
Field
enough
time.
either. I was really trying to summon a archer with Shield Slam subclass for the Baby Cup, but I could never get one that I liked because they're so
Archer
fast.
with Shield Slam
Yeah.
sub.
Yeah. So they're so fast that they can do the Shield Slam and interrupt people and screw with them. But
Yeah.
I don't know that it's really good, but it sounded like fun.
Nah, Raph
It's-
has that one.
It's not the best, but it's super fun.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because a knight's not going to beat anybody in speed.
Right.
Right.
Maybe in the baby cup, if you just have like a green agi, maybe you'll get lucky, but it's unlikely.
But there are, if you match up against like a Dark Knight or a one of the
Paladin
other heavier
slow.
classes, and
Yeah.
if you have the element, it could happen. But I just listed out a few things that need to go right for it to work. So, congrats to Bob the Great. Bob Nothing's cousin, Bob the Great.
Yep. Not me. I
Yeah.
ain't that great.
He had a good run this tourney.
Yeah, it's
What
Bob
was his-
Nothing's burner.
Did he have the all warrior team, or is like monks with warrior subclasses or something? He had an
I don't know.
interesting combo.
Oh, you're talking about the team, that was it was like monk warrior, warrior monk, monk warrior. That was
Yeah.
someone that was playing last stream that we did. I don't know if it was him.
Was that Daryl Evil? I think that
It might have been. It might have been Darrow Evil.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually remember watching that, Tad, and I remember watching you play there, and you were kind of just really aggro. So I was like, if I face Tad, I'm gonna know what to do. But then I watched you against Raph, and you were real leveling war. You were playing really well against Raph because that was a really complex match. So like today, I was like, I don't know. We'll see what happens because I saw you in that first match, and you just had him overpowered. And you just went aggro. But then, that's when I think I commented the Jack Sparrow against that one because I was watching that one. I remember it. But then the Raph match was really close and
Bro, those
really
games were
complex.
crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Like those games, every single one of those games were like so close. And even some of those games, the HP didn't show how close it was. Like it was just
Right.
It was
It's always a move away.
Couple abilities away, like drastically changes the match.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna do another. Here we go.
Who we got? I see a name in there that should not win.
Kevo.
Kevo.
Kevo
Yeah,
deserves it.
So Pouring's name is in there because it's in there from the Baby Cup raffles.
Nah.
I guess I should have pulled them, thinking back, but let's hope it just doesn't get
Cross
dropped.
Shout out
Unfortunately,
Kevo,
get there.
man.
You don't have to pull Nine Name though. I showed up on the stream.
Yeah, we'll leave that one, of course. Yeah, shout out Kevo. He's a great player. He went to the
Yeah.
finals last time, the light heavyweight.
He actually
Did
beat
he
me
win?
last tournament, and he was
Did he?
yeah, and he was showing me mad love this tournament. He was actually rooting for me. He was like, "Yo, I think you could win," and I was like, "Yo, I don't know yet." I was like, "I'm like, I've been playing, but I was like, there's a lot of good players here." He's actually first one to congratulate me and everything. Shout out him, man.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
no,
a
he's
lot,
a good
man.
dude. He's been here since he was in our first tournament that was 12 people, and I was like begging people to get in. I'm like, come on, it's a cool game, just try it. Like, nobody wanted any part of it, but that was very early days.
These tournaments are getting tough, man. My road was Pouring, Mean Machine, Franz, Pouring to get to the finals, and two other tough matches too with
Yeah, it is.
some other players. It's like, holy crap.
Yeah. So let me. It's we got a good little council of players on here. Let's see. We've been tossing around some ideas for the next tournament. We're thinking of a Guild Wars type setup or a teams of 3. I mean, we'd call it Guild Wars, but obviously, we're gonna want as many different teams as possible. What Konix is thinking of would be. Let me make sure I'm explaining this right. So you would have 3 teams kind of lined up ready to go. Each team would throw their first competitor in. So like say me, Guy, and Bob are a team. I would go first against Tad. I beat Tad. And then I would go up against the second team with the health that I have from the first match.
Interesting.
That's
So
a
like
relay.
say I have 1 hero left and 50 health, I'm going into that second match with it, and then the goal is do as much damage as possible, even if that's just 50 damage, so that when my second, if Guy comes up after me, he has full health and there's a little damage on that second team.
That sounds awesome. That sounds like a really hard thing
Complex.
for Konix to do.
Yeah. He's the one that brought up the idea, though, so I'm just assuming.
well, there you go.
I don't
way
ask
the
questions
way
like,
he
can you build that?
captures matches, there's a data snapshot at the end of the match that he'd take that and carry it over to the next match.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
So
Yeah, that sounds
like,
awesome.
yeah, I think it is plausible, but curious on your guys' thoughts.
That's a whole other dimension of strategy. That would be pretty epic,
Mhm.
right? Because you could have somebody who just kind of like you just have 3 casters the first match, and you're just building charge for C9N teams of monks to come in on the next one. It's just
Well, so the charge wouldn't carry over, and that's a question that I had.
okay.
But also, it would. You'd have to win the match still, right? Because if all your heroes are
Oh,
dead,
that's right. That's right.
the next team is not going to get that charge.
Winning
But I'm
team,
still-
team keeps their heroes. Losing team keeps their charge. That's
That'd be
probably
interesting.
unbalanced, but it would be
Yeah.
be pretty
Well, no,
wild.
but so the charge thing is the first question I asked, because that's what I was thinking was like, all right, if I know that I'm gonna win a game, but not by much, maybe I throw in a meditate or like don't use a move and kill him with a fierce attack, take a little extra damage, but like know that I have that meter built up for the next game and I could do it turn 1 and try to,
Right.
take a bite out of that second. It's really gonna come down to the final 2 teams, right? But it's a matter of what they look like when it does.
when it gets there, right?
Right. So, just a thought. We were also throwing around the idea of like a Hogwarts Cup type of thing, where like you gain points for your team, but you're still individually playing and fighting, so that like we don't kind of mess up the fun of the tournaments, where like you're in it for yourself, but you're also adding to this off to the side leaderboard. It's another idea.
Yeah. Or with what we have for group stages, do we get so many quote unquote guilds involved that there's only like 2 players represented in each group stage from each guild? We could do something like that too.
Yeah. Section it off that way.
I think a Hogwarts type thing would work better if you just kind of had like a rotating group, like a regular season instead of a
Mhm.
tournament.
Yeah.
Where you just have like, here's your group for the week, like, do a couple battles or not, and then people's guilds or groups earn more points the more they win, and split it up that way might be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Nice comment from Sargent here. Could have a pool of level 1s to draft from, and the tourney players draft a team of 3.
I like this.
That I
I like
like.
that too. Yeah.
I like that.
That's like a sealed deck type thing in Magic. Yeah, you're going in. I mean, that's kind of probably the most even way to
Big brain
play this
sergeant.
game.
I like that.
Yeah, that's another thing. Maybe not for like the next tournament, but that's something that Konix has expressed that he likes the idea of. So, I mean, in the future, as this gets built out more, we could see different game modes, and it's really going to come down to what people want to play and what people want to do. So get in that feedback channel. Let us know. If anybody heard what we just said about guild matchups and we're like, no, there's a better way to do it. Like, tell us. We're not too bright. Konix says we're not. So, all right, let's spin again.
Is that
Oh, Arcanum,
Hey,
who
Nice.
gets a prize after giving a prize. Call that Call that karma. That's what we call it. Cool. Move. Shuffle it up. I'll just breeze through the last two here.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Crypto Grady.
Great.
The man himself.
Yeah. Yeah, so we used to take out the people who donated because it's like kind of weird winning a prize when you have a prize in there. But like we were thinking he can do what he wants, so he could do a giveaway on his stream. He could, so cheers to him. All right, last one for all the marbles. Mean Machine. Congratulations.
Nice.
I thought that was going to land on Maddie, and I was going to actually reroll it.
Awesome.
All right. So that's all we have for that. Anybody have any kind of closing thoughts or anything else that you want to talk about? I mean, we could still dive in.
I'm just excited about, honestly, like, I got to watch the AMA. I didn't watch it because I was busy.
Oh,
But
yeah, it's good.
I was just like, I was talking to Mosh yesterday. Yeah, yesterday we was talking because he was talking about his hero and he was talking about certain stuff. And honestly, from what Grady said, the little bit that he said, I'm kind of leaning towards that. I was like thinking before I used to go for like certain elite abilities or like and certain like that, something like that. But now I'm thinking that if the way they're gonna go, if they're gonna have like counters in the game, it might be better to have like 2 advanced abilities rather than 1 elite ability.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't watched it yet, but from what Grady's saying and from what me and Marsh was talking about, I was like, I think I'm gonna kind of change my strategy. If I can go for the double advance instead of going for the elite, I'm probably gonna lean to double advance just because the way Workhorse talks, he talks from like he wants it there to be like counters and stuff like that. So I'm just like, if you have 1 elite ability, the opponent can kind of play to counter that. But if you have 2 advanced, then they have to kind of think a game, kind of like Fight Club. It's like dual threat. So that's kind of how I'm thinking. But
Yeah, no, that's true. And like even to take it a step further, there are some basic abilities that seem like we don't know the numbers yet. Like we don't know how much the heals for, but heal is basic 3 inactive. I would take that on any hero. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
so, to me this changes the whole mindset when summoning. I'm gonna be very specific about, especially if I'm summoning higher rarity heroes. I'm going to be very specific about what those abilities kind of line out to.
yeah.
Yeah, and on that point about summoning, like this drop about what the abilities are completely changes the Gen Zero game. Like in terms of
Oh, I
What-
haven't looked at
that's
Gen
which
Zeros.
ones are big, right?
Yeah.
Because if you have an
Big
opinion
brain.
about what's a matching skill with that class or that advanced class that it makes, like those are going to be presumably more valuable. But
Yeah.
who knows what's going to be the best like matching skill, right? I think I missed a lot of the pod because I was prepping for the finals, but I heard you guys talking about how like heal on a priest might not be a good thing because the priest is going to have heal in its skill tree, and like I could see it both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but just
That's a
real
good
quick,
point.
how many hours were you preparing for the finals for?
Oh, I mean, just like 1.
So do we know? I guess I only watched it the once, unlike Grady. But do we know that these are like locked in stone? I guess because that
Workhorse
was,
said, we're not going to tell you what they are, what they do, but these are definitely the names of the gene abilities.
Guy, you want to pull them up?
so
Yeah,
we
you
can
wanna-
definitely.
You want to
pull
share my
some
screen?
info
I'm
from
just in
that.
here as guest, Fran, so I can't drive.
Oh, okay, got it.
I guess it would be a pretty big mistake if they like change their mind after and people are getting rid of their priests with heal on them and stuff. Because another thing I thought when I was watching it is that the good passive abilities seem better than the active abilities because he said several times that you're going to have to spend your turn to use the active abilities. So like the passive ability, like the really high end ones are just going to be like free. because your class, like if you're going to turn into a boar, you're a berserker. That's what we saw today, right?
Yep.
That's going to take your turns, like some sort of action economy. And if that's competing with your active abilities, like your basic ability to heal or something, are you going to want to do that instead of using your cool berserker ability that you spend all these points on?
Mm-hmm.
It's an action economy situation, whereas passive is just a value add. Right.
Yeah, and something that when we were talking earlier, Maddie was mentioning was Transcendent 1 being Resurrection.
Seems amazing.
It seems
For
amazing, but if you have it on a wizard or a priest or something that's low health and you have issues keeping it alive, like if I'm your opponent and I know that
Second
is
life.
Resurrection,
That seems
go after that first. You know, Second Life would heal itself, but Resurrection, I think he said, would be a teammate, right?
It
So
would,
if you're the
it would
first
have
one
to
dead,
be a castable event. So just like what Bob's saying with the abilities, if you get this hero down that has that transcendent ability first, that's the first hero you concentrate on. He's never going to be able to use that resurrection.
right. So there is the sense of like certain ones will be better on certain heroes. I mean, that's a situation where if someone has resurrection, the enemy's probably going to be, focusing them from the beginning. But if it's on a paladin that has very high health, a little different than if it's on a glass cannon type wizard.
Right.
I gotta go watch this. Honestly, that's
He goes deep into it. It's
bro, I have so much of a smile on my face, like I'm cheesing because I'm just like, this is about to get crazy.
Yeah, he went over the berserker, and they're kind of like a druid in D&D, where they got the different forms and stuff. And I guess the monk will probably be like that too. But yeah, that was my thought, was the action economy, is that if you have your class skills that you want to use and you also have your active abilities, they're kind of in conflict.
Right.
But passive is not.
Welcome, Raph.
Hey guys.
What's up, Raph?
Hopping on late, but not too late. How you doing?
Yeah, I couldn't go to bed early. Tried.
Too much alpha drop today to be going to sleep,
It's a lot.
Did you have a chance to watch the AMA today?
I did. It's got me excited.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were just going through all the different abilities and Tad made a good point. The idea of maybe 3 advanced being better than 1 elite, or 2 advanced being better than 1 elite, because it's more options at that higher level.
I think so. One thing I did, I feel like I heard they kind of said, I like the idea. It sounds like each ability will take a turn, even though it won't take mana. So I don't know if you can continue to use other abilities at the same time. So that might be the only thing that kind of equalizes that a little bit, because you might want to use one of your regular skills in place of using one of these abilities, and maybe one of these is kind of a turd. But I think that's an interesting take on it. Certainly when you get to like having a couple of elites or something like that, like stun lock someone, I don't know, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, the stun's a big one, but like even some of these, and Grady's saying it, basic abilities are still good. Like the heal, I want the heal on everything. Poison blade sounds great. Add poison damage to whoever my hero is.
I want cleanse on all my tanks.
I do too.
Definitely.
I'm looking at that.
Definitely. And then what was the chatterbox on the passive?
It's the passive, right?
I believe they said that can't be silenced. And if that's a passive ability and they can't be silenced, like that seems very good.
On a caster.
Especially if you've got a glass cannon or a high damage hero.
Because that's like a Final Fantasy thing, is to silence casters and make them do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the other thing. So we got a few keywords. Silence, stun, dazed, all those are, pretty traditional. I was reading the Berserker stats or skill tree though, and exhausted is one of them too. So if you look at I think it's Blood Rage, where he has a few that at the end of the turn it's become exhausted. So I'm assuming that's like similar to the cooldown.
It's like a barbarian thing from D&D.
Okay. So
they
what are the effects really?
It makes you like minus damage and speed because it's after you rage, and then you can't move
Okay.
as fast. You can't charge.
I was thinking
That's
of
how
it
it
as
is
like a
in D&D,
cooldown,
but it's
but that
definitely
makes
a
sense.
debuff. No, it's a debuff.
Yeah, it's really meant to be like a finisher. And it's like if you can finish them off, great. If not, you're gonna be useless the next couple turns.
Well, the one I was looking at before was it did quite a bit, and then it became exhausted.
Yeah, it's the blood rages. There's also this blood of our enemies down here.
Oh, dang. So, sorry to interrupt. I'm just looking at my Gen Zeros now that you guys are talking about this. So, in my active 2 slot for my Paladin factory,
Oh, so
their second
Warrior
active,
Knight.
they're both cleanse, which when they weren't transforming before, I was frustrated, but now I want a Paladin with cleanse. Like,
yeah, wow, that's great. Yeah, I mean it's gonna be interesting to see how quickly this information kind of permeates through the market, the tavern. I mean,
Yeah, it definitely
it's
matters.
Oh, it definitely matters.
There's like
how
an
quickly they pick up
intimidation
on it.
ability, like intimidation, like pulling aggro. That's pretty clearly a tank ability in most games that you see. Whereas if you get that on a wizard, it's I believe it's a passive, right? In one of the advanced.
Yeah, advanced 3.
So like I'm thinking that's going to be pretty, polarized.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some other ones that are pretty polarized, where you don't want them on like a caster and you really want them on a tank, or the other way around.
Yeah, the hardened shield. That's one that, he started to say what explosion did, and then stopped himself. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm not going to tell you that one." And that's one of my best heroes has explosion. And so I was just looking at that like, oh, he couldn't have just kept talking there for a minute.
Is it like explosion in Pokemon, where
you blow
do
yourself up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it could be that. I was thinking you just kind of throw a bomb at him type of thing, but then I was thinking more, it's like, oh, it might be kind of a self-destruct type of situation there, where I kind of like having that at my disposal if I'm low health.
Right.
Sacrifice them and get going. But yeah, one's like speed, heal. That's going to be cool on whatever.
Yes, Second Wind is a D&D term from D&D 4, where you get an extra action. So that's probably like a speed type thing.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
yes.
Basically
there's
two
like a
moves
lot
in one.
of canon from various games in here, which is really interesting, which is what you would expect.
Mm-hmm.
They're drawing
So
from
you
a lot
guys
of...
talked about how far along they have to be confident putting these things out here. I mean, I think they really have to be.
Yeah.
It like the theory seems like it's most of the way done, and now it's just like gameplay tweaking, as it goes out. For them to be releasing all this, that makes me super hyped.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how many of the skill trees they have done, because they showed us one, but they have the groundwork, the framework of, like, you can't really start building one skill tree without knowing what you're doing on kind of an overarching side of
all
things.
the other
Well,
ones.
yeah,
So-
and kind of the way that they release information, like they wouldn't be putting out. I don't think they'd be putting out names for basic abilities if they didn't have the skill trees all done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, and this is pretty in depth here. I mean, they took all the numbers out, but this is legit info.
How do you guys want to see this formatted? Because I've been talking to Neindorf already a little bit, and we want to actually like make the skill tree and like put some of the number logic behind it. So you actually kind of it's almost like simulating on a web page what going through a skill tree would be. You could load up your hero. You could see how many skill points you have and actually start subtracting points.
Love it.
So yeah, give us some ideas on like visuals, like if there's like games that you feel like I want it to look like this skill tree, send that our way.
Interesting. Yeah, I think one thing that would be good would be the way that it has the pop out for when you scroll over stats that are boosted. It kind of shows that little pop out window. Yeah, that for like explainers for all of the different skills. Probably be a clean way to look at it.
I'll be honest. This page or this whiteboard image is still confusing me a little bit. I feel like I'm not getting or not understanding the structure.
Well, so I think it's more clear if you go to this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all the green, that's
track-
up to 10 skill points.
Okay.
And then that second like level there, I think it was, what was he, pink? So that's 10 plus like total skill points. And then over 20 or over 25, that's where he said like you're going to really get the skills that like the mastery of the skills.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be kind
So-
of building up until then.
How many of the in the skill tree? So, all right. So that helps. The cost in skill points is on the leftmost column. How many in the green do you need to have unlocked in order for the red to be available?
So I don't think any. So
Okay.
the way they were saying it, and correct me, guy's shaking its head, so I think I'm on the right track. It's going to be cheaper to get purple if you've built the right path up to it. So like if you did bear form all the way up in the green, your bear abilities in pink are going to be cheaper. But if you go wolf in pink, then you're not going to get that discount. And if you're mixing and matching the whole way up, so they're kind of incentivizing you to go down, you know, a specific
To stay
branch.
in one true form
Right.
or whatever. If you will.
Yeah.
Right.
And then on the secondary class, he said if you have a pure secondary class, you have access to a 15 cost
Yeah, the
skill
orange
for
at
the
the
price
bottom.
of 10. Is that, did I get that right? Or-
The orange skill at the bottom on the other one.
That's what that is? Okay.
No,
Yeah,
I think this is the ultimate.
No, that's the
Oh, does that not say 15? Sorry, I can't read
yeah.
it.
No, that's
It-
the subclass. So
that's the subclass.
if you have a different subclass, you're gonna have 15 skill points to use anywhere on that subclass's or on that class's skill tree, right? You'll be able to kind of mix and match and pick around using 15. So they made this 15, and this is only if you have
Berserker.
Berserker, right? And what does it say there, guy?
So upon death, this hero may cast X additional abilities at the end of the round.
X additional abilities.
What does that mean?
Does that mean, yeah, what the hell
Nobody
does
knows.
that mean?
So
Well,
all
these
these
are the
all
columns
these
are
abilities that are become exhausted, once you die, you throw all of those become exhausted abilities
Well,
out.
X, we don't know what the X will be, but yeah. So it's from this page. We don't mean abilities from the other page.
They put some X's in there, so we don't really know.
Yep.
Mhm. Now that's the info we need to start demanding from Workhorse. No more
More.
when, it's what.
So it seems like with the subclass, if you want to do something wonky, like a knight, priest, or something like that, two things that aren't really very congruent, then it's going to be inefficient to spend your points like that. But you could have a strategic reason for doing it. Whereas if you have, the same skill kind of just piling on, it's more efficient. But it's that's what it seemed like to me.
Yeah. Are those skill points, do you think, mutually exclusive? Like you get 15 extra skill points to spend on your secondary tree that don't
I
pull
thought
away
he
from
said it
your
was
primary.
capped, like a max of 15 in the subclass.
That part was
Right.
Yeah,
But are
I'll
those
have to
Yeah,
listen
it's
back through
85-15.
okay?
Yeah.
that.
But
So
I
that-
mean, there are going to be some interesting combos.
yeah, maybe there's like one move in the second tier that is a really good match to what your primary class is. So it's like you're really just grabbing one move from your subclass.
Well, do you, and I zoned out, maybe this is what Raph just asked, and I didn't think he was asking it, but do you have to use them in this? Like, what if it's a really bad match of a subclass?
and
Can I
you just
put
want to
those
use 100
15
skill
into
points in
primary?
your berserker main class.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
That's an interesting
Oh, no.
question. I do know that there's additional alpha that I haven't read yet in the PvP section of the DeFiKingdoms Discord. Maddie was talking to Workhorse and other people as well, but he was saying that he was messaging with Workhorse in there, and got a little alpha on the subclass and some other things. Haven't had a chance to go look at, but planning on reading that over as well. I started trying to look for it now. It's a mess in there.
Oh,
There's so much going
It's
on.
a
lot.
description. It's a description of the abilities.
Oh.
Oh.
This is good. This
Okay.
is real good.
Oh,
Whoa.
wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
And here we
I
thought
was
we were
ready
going
to
to
brush
bed.
that
for
off.
somebody.
Like, yeah, it's something in
Now
there.
I'm really not going to bed.
Well, it's. I don't think it's workhorses though. It looks like it's just somebody's.
Oh, pure speculation at this point.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Sad.
I was about to say, I was like, I
Tricked me.
thought Maddie would have been a little more specific if
Tricked
that's
me.
what was going on.
Workhorse did have one interesting.
I
comment
got so
to
much
that.
reading to do tonight. I got to read this whole channel.
Uh-huh.
that AMA was awesome. I'm gonna watch it again tomorrow.
Well, I feel like we're getting to that point now, right? We're almost over the hump. Like we've been surviving on like no information for all through the bear market so far. Once they start talking about this stuff, you can't really put Pandora back in the box. Like
Yeah,
we're there.
At this point, it would be a huge faux pas for them not to have the skills the way they presented them today, because people are going to make decisions on that, and they're going to be right to be pissed if it doesn't work out, because it would be really weird for them to put this out and then change their mind in a month.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
and
that makes me believe it's close.
there's always going to be, nerfing of some things, buffing of some others, some balancing stuff. So like within reason, but you're right. If they like were to come out in a few days and be like, we're scrapping that, we're going a different route, that would be. It's got to be very close.
They
And the artwork
they
looks
wouldn't
good.
do that.
The
And they do have
animation.
some flexibility because they haven't told us what they do.
They
Right.
can
So like, the community could just be wrong about things.
Heal deals 25 damage.
Well,
Change-
maybe not
change
that.
it complete- No, I know,
not
I
that
know, I
much, but
Yeah.
There will be nerfs, no doubt. This is going to be a really hard game to balance, to be perfectly
Oh
honest.
yeah.
But
Just
so there will be
combinations.
constant nerfs, but like this is pretty set in stone what they put out today. It's a big deal. They wouldn't do that lightly, I don't think.
Yeah, I hope that the way that they balance is. It seems like they're all gamers. They all kind of like know the struggle, but I hope it's a smart way of balancing. Like for example, I played a lot of Gods Unchained before coming here, and the whole community would complain about the way they balanced because it would be these big swinging, like sweeping changes, and they wouldn't do anything for like a few months after that. It's like there were never any incremental, like, all right, let's see, like this is definitely too strong. Let's bring it down a little, bring it down. They would just kind of knock it off a cliff.
Let the nerf
be like,
bat
here you
hit
go.
hard.
Yeah, I want a lot of balancing changes and little ones. Little and a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah. Man, this turned into 2-hour, 15-minute stream pretty quick. Does anybody have anything else they want to throw in there? Anything they want to add? Last final thoughts? I don't know. Maddie usually hosts.
Bullish.
Yeah, I
that
got my
was funny.
floater
That
here.
was funny.
Yeah.
No, I
So-
appreciate y'all for having me on. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
man.
thanks
Congrats,
for coming.
man.
Congrats on the dub.
Dad.
Wow,
Congrats,
bro.
Dad.
Congrats,
I
Pouring.
appreciate it, bro.
Me, Machine, and Bob.
Appreciate it,
Great
guys.
job.
We tried.
Nah, and good games all
I'm
around.
still
man.
and
Important.
thank you,
Yeah.
Franz and Guy Kid, for putting this
Yeah,
all
for
together
hosting.
and running
Yeah.
it. I mean, you guys have hosted these really well. They've been very smooth. Like, shout out to you guys.
Yeah, I appreciate
Thank
y'all.
you. Appreciate
Yeah, Guy
that.
King always he was giving me a heads up, and he was like, "Yo, you could put it in a little bit later," because I was like, "Yeah, I might not make it tonight," and he was like, "Yeah, just give it in by tomorrow," and I was like, "All right, bet." You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Glad
I know,
made it
Franz,
in.
you did that for
That
the
worked
first
out.
tournament too, because I think you
Yeah.
were running it. So I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah, we've had to be a little lenient on the entries as far as when people are getting their stuff in, but no, because we want everyone to be in, to have fun. We don't want to be like, no, you missed the deadline, you're out. You know,
Right.
it's a fun thing we're doing.
You don't realize how quick the deadline catches up to you. You're trying to get your heroes ready.
Mhm.
You're trying to practice, and then you're trying to like see like okay, and
What
then the
combo
deadline
words
just
and whatnot. Yep.
It's
comes
good to
right
give
in.
it a week or so. Let's
Yeah,
go middleweights next time, or hit light heavy.
middle or light heavy. You heard it here
What's up?
first.
Let's see
Or
what's
Guild
up.
Wars. We'll see. No,
Maybe
but
both.
yeah, thank you guys for hopping on. Thanks to everybody in the chat for all the great comments and questions. This has been another episode of Bogside Chats. Have a good night.
All right, peace
Later,
out.
bloater.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good one.